Draft Party is Thursday, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
And your home for Royals baseball.
Fastball hit high in the air, deep left field, way gone into the bleachers. A two-run homer for Bobby Witt Jr.
Watch The Drive by subscribing on our YouTube channel or listen on demand with the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
This show is always going to stand on principles. Dippin' Dots are incredible. Red Lobster is the best restaurant that America has to offer, and baked beans are trash.
You're listening to Kansas City's FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Monday. We have a lot to get into. We will talk about the Masters. Yes, I have golf thoughts. Rob is very surprised at this development. I did watch a little bit of the final round yesterday. Congratulations to Rory McIlroy. He is the fourth golfer in the history of the Masters to win it in back-to-back seasons. We will talk a little bit of golf. We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the NFL draft. Trevor Sikma joined us on the show. We are going to have him pop on the show in the 4 o'clock hour. Matt Miller from ESPN will be on the show this week. Todd McShay will also be on the show this week. So we are getting you guys ready. We are getting prepared for the Chiefs. A very pivotal, a very important draft for Kansas City as they have 2 first-round draft picks and they are looking to retool their talent and get back to the playoffs. So we got a little NFL draft to talk to. We are going to start with the Royals today. We are actually going to have our first random Royals lineup. We're going to go back 10 years today. I'm going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek because 10 years ago today was Kobe Bryant's last game. So, Rob, if we're going to do a random lineup, we got to do a random lineup back to 2016 on April 13th, and we'll see what the Royals lineup was on the day that Kobe had his last game in the NBA, in which he scored 60 points against the Utah Jazz. We got a lot to get into in today's show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited to be here with you. We are going to start with the Royals, but before we do that, I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. Number two, I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. And number three, and most importantly, I need you to remember that the show is brought to you by our friends over at The Other Place, and it's Monday. So that means today is a burger and a brew Monday. So stop by, get yourself a half-pound specialty burger with some fries, $8.49. And if you're thirsty, you can get a $3.50 domestic pint if you want to get that as well. So stop in there, grab yourself a burger, grab yourself a brew, grab yourself some fries. You can do all that for less than $15 today if you stop by and see our friends over at The Other Place. All right, let's dive right into the Kansas City Royals. Now, I want to read you something because I looked this up because I was curious. The perception is that Vinnie Pasquantino starts incredibly slow. But I wanted to see if that was reality. A lot of times in sports and in life, we believe something, and then you do a little bit deeper dive, and you find out that your perception was not right, that you were incorrect. So I wanted to see if that was the case with Vinnie Pasquantino. So I looked it up. I wanted to check out his career splits because I was genuinely curious if it is in our mind that he is a slow starter or is he really a slow starter. Now, let me tell you, he has actually played more games in April and March than any other month. He has played now 104 games during that time frame. The most games that he has played in any other month is in May, and that's 80. Hopefully he will pass that mark because he's healthy and available this year in May. But focusing in on the first month of the season, Vinnie Pasquantino is hitting .210 with a .299 on base percentage and is slugging .366. Now, if you want to hold that up against the light to just what he has in his career done in the month of May, he is hitting .284 in May. So we are talking about a 74-point difference in terms of batting average. His on-base percentage is .333, so we're talking about a 34-point increase in on-base percentage. He is slugging .366 in the first month of the season. He is slugging .448 in the month of May, so almost a 75-point difference we are talking about. Some of the Royals commentary, I think, is very, very straightforward. This team is sort of what we thought it could be. The starting pitching has been there and has been pretty consistent from start to finish, and you feel great about their ability on any given day to go out and compete against the best teams in Major League Baseball because their starting pitching will give you a chance. We always had questions about the offense. There was always room to be worried about the offense, and those worries are coming true. The three major reasons to be worried about this offense right now. Number one starts with Vinnie Pasquantino, and routinely he gets off to slow starts. No, you are not imagining things. The numbers bear it out as well. We're talking about a potential 75-point difference in terms of batting average. We're talking about a 40-point difference in terms of on-base percentage. We're talking about a 75, 80-point difference when it comes to slugging percentage. These are two drastically different players in the first month of the season and the second month of the season. So something to keep in mind. I don't care how good your pitching is if your offense continues to be what the Royals are right now. And as of yesterday, there are only two teams in Major League Baseball that have scored fewer runs than the Royals had so far this season. Vinny is a reason why. Now, with Salvador Perez, I'm not saying that he's old. I'm not saying that he's washed. But it is something to track because usually you are the last to know. When you see somebody every day, every year, and they had phenomenal seasons and they played well in the World Baseball Classic, nobody ever wants to come to grips with that. Now, it's early on in the season. It's the first 2.5 weeks of the season, but we're talking about a 36, 37-year-old that usually the hazard lights have been flashing for a while. The check engine light has been on, and you just haven't been paying attention. You just haven't noticed it. Now, I'm not ready to throw that label on Salvador Perez. I feel like we've had that conversation in years past, and he has always blown right past it and turned into the kind of player that we thought he could be. But very simply put, this team cannot reach its expectations, nor come close to its expectations with the version of Vinnie Pasquantino that is in their offense right now, nor with the version of Salvador Perez that is in their offense. And at some point, Bobby Witt Jr. has to hit a home run. I saw a list that has been circulating around Major League Baseball for all the players who have not hit a home run so far in the early part of the season. And the Royals had a couple of names on that list. So we have talked about it. The bats at some point are going to wake up for the Kansas City Royals. And the question is going to be, where are they at when they start? And where can they potentially be once it cools off again? This always goes in a cycle. But I think the frustration right now around the Kansas City Royals is this is another April, another March in which your heavy hitters, your big boppers in the lineup start so incredibly slow. And we are just all sitting around here twiddling our thumbs, trying to figure out when this offense can get going and when the Royals can pick up a little bit of momentum. This is an important week for the Kansas City Royals. They got 3 games against the Tigers, who are the favorite in their division. They go on the road and play 3 games against the Yankees, and the Yankees dominated the Kansas City Royals last season and are arguably the best team in the American League. So if you want to be a team that shows that you can compete at this level, that you can be heavyweight champions, weeks like this, when you go on the road to play Detroit and you avoid Scooble, when you go to Yankee Stadium, a team that just kicked you around last year, this is an opportunity to show the rest of the American League that appears to be a little bit down right now that you have turned the corner, that you are changed, that you can be one of those teams that are going to be a force to be reckoned with down the stretch. We just got to see it play itself out on the diamond. We're going to talk about the NFL draft here coming up a bit. We're also going to give you guys some updates on the transfer portal with your favorite college basketball teams. We're going to stop to K-State, Kansas, and Missouri today just to see where those 3 programs are when it comes to the transfer portal. We got a lot to get into in today's show, but it's actually been some quite time since we have done this. We used to have a rule that every time that we led the show with the Royals or they were talked about in the 5 o'clock hour, it could only mean one thing. I think this is the first time this season that we've done it. Rob, hit me!
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington
and you said take us back 10 years for Kobe's final game. We're on the day of Kobe's final game. The 2016 Kansas City Royals won on this stage.
Of course they did.
They beat the Houston Astros 4-2, moving to 6-2 on the year.
You see that? The score was 2-4 for Kobe. You see that? The symmetry there. See, I'm telling you, you got to stay woke.
It was also their 8th game.
Oh!
Here was your Royals lineup that day in 2016. Leading off at shortstop, Alcides Escobar.
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer.
Batting second at third base, Mike Moustakas.
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer.
Batting third in center field, Lorenzo Cain.
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer. He's already in the Royals Hall of Fame, actually.
I believe so. Batting fourth at first base, Royals broadcaster Eric Hosmer.
Royals legend, future Royals Hall of Famer.
Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Kendrys Morales.
Royals great. I can't call him Royals legend or Royals Hall of Famer. Royals great, though. Very important. If Kendrys Morales was at a Royals game and got honored, he'd get a standing ovation.
Of course. Batting sixth in left field, Alex Gordon.
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer.
I believe he's also already in too, isn't he?
He is.
He'll get a statue one day. It'll be downtown, but he'll get a statue.
Yeah, they should just wait now to do all that when they get to the new stadium.
Batting seventh, the catcher, Salvador Perez.
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer, future baseball Hall of Famer.
Batting eighth, the second baseman, Omar Infante.
Twitter Hall of Famer. Royals Twitter Hall of Famer.
And batting ninth, the right fielder, Paulo Orlando.
When I hear Paulo Orlando, I only think of Rex Hudler.
Yep.
I don't think of anything else other than Rex Hudler. He was actually a really nice guy. I think we had him on the show once or twice before. I liked Paulo Orlando. Hopefully he's having a great day.
By the way, the Royals got 6 strong innings this day out of Yordano Ventura.
Of course
Royals legend, Royals Hall of Famer. I believe he's also in the Royals Hall of Fame already.
Passed away early, like Kobe. See the symmetry here? It's a lot of symmetry to Kobe Day.
They also got a save on this day from Joakim Soria.
Okay.
Who I believe that year was hated by Royals fans.
Why were the Royals not good in 2016? Like, I'm looking at the lineup. This was a team that, why did they not go back to the postseason? They should have went back to the postseason in 2016. They were like 500.
Cain got hurt. That really undid it. We don't talk. That's why Cain's in the Hall of Fame already. He was the best baseball player outside of Perez in those teams.
No, I don't disagree with you. I just, now, like, I'm hearing this team. I don't know why the Royals, after 2015, they didn't go back in 16 or 17 when the core and nucleus was there. I feel like they had some starting pitching injuries that also kind of played a part into it. But the Royals, we should have got one more playoff run out of that Royals team in 16 or 17. You know, they just lose in like the ALCS or something. We should have got one of those runs out of the Kansas City Chiefs. Or Royals, excuse me. So coming up on the other side, we are going to talk a little bit of NFL draft. We're also going to start our trip to the 3 area local colleges and get their update on the transfer portal. If you missed it, Flory Badunga, he is going to play college basketball next year. It is not going to be at Kansas. He is transferred to Louisville. We're going to head to Lawrence coming up in about 15 minutes. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. That goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America, N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action action heats up at Circus Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circus Sports has it all. Circus Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circus Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circus Sports app or visit circusports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Call Hamilton today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews are great reasons to trust Hamilton. Visit callhamilton.com/radio for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
When shopping for a new auto insurance policy, AAA could help you customize your coverage to fit your unique needs and budget. Trust AAA Auto Insurance to help you find the balance that works for you. See how a simple switch could make a big difference. AAA, we're always with you. Visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
With 2 kids in 4 sports, sometimes we don't even have time to eat, and that means sometimes we can't get to the store. That's when Hy-Vee saves the day. We love ordering our groceries online and having them delivered. It saves us so much time, and it's easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All I have to do is pick up my order or have it delivered to my home, which is free, by the way, with my Perks Plus membership. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, Rob, I just saw this hypothetical trade thrown out there, and I want to run it past you. We're going to head to Lawrence, Kansas coming up in just a bit to get an update on the transfer portal and what's going on with the Kansas Jayhawks. So in this mock draft, they had the Dallas Cowboys selecting at the 9th overall pick, and they would take Caleb Downs with the 9th overall pick. You guys know the Chiefs have that selection. This would be the trade. Dallas would get 9, 29, and pick 148. Kansas City would have 12 and 20 as their 2 first-round draft picks. Would you make this trade, Rob? Tomorrow, if the Cowboys called and they wanted to do this deal right now, give us 9, 29, and also 148. We'll give you 12 and 20. Would you make that trade? I only ask that question because you are on stockpile draft picks. Now, this will be moving out of the top 10, but you move up, I would say, pretty significantly. The kind of prospect that you can get at 20 is very different than the prospect you could get at 29, but you are also giving up one of those mid-round picks in order to make this deal happen. I would make this trade if I'm Kansas City. I'm curious, as Mr. Stockpile picks, if you would do it.
Okay, so obviously there are variables I can't account for in this hypothetical. I would say knee-jerk is yes, but who's there at 9 when the Cowboys call? Because if Ruben Bane is there at 9, I'm not making this
Ruben
pick.
Bane is not on the board for this pick. He would have gone 8 to the New Orleans Saints.
Is Carnell Tate gone?
Yes, he is going number 6 in this to the Cleveland Browns.
Then yes.
So all the players that you would want in this mock draft are off
gone.
the board.
Then yes.
Yeah.
Then 100% yes. If it's Caleb Downs or move back, the answer is move back. That's the variable I need answered. If it is draft day and Brett Veach doesn't have an opportunity to get Bane, doesn't have an opportunity to get Bailey, doesn't have an opportunity to get Reese or Carnell Tate, and the phone rings and it's the Cowboys and they're trying to come up for Caleb Downs and I can now have a top 15 pick and a top 20 pick stockpiled, then yes, I am absolutely making this trade because you can take Jordan Tyson at 12 and still be an okay football that's unfair. You can still have a good pick at 12 and take Jordan Tyson. So in that hypothetical, yes, I would be trading back.
Well, Rob, guess who this mock draft has the Chiefs taking with the 12th overall selection? Has the Chiefs taking Jordan Tyson at number 12. Now, you might not like this. It has them going cornerback with the 20th overall pick and taking Chris Johnson, the cornerback out of San Diego State. So maybe you're on to something. Text line, let me know if you would do this deal. 913-586-7965. This is a hypothetical trade that is thrown out by Warren Sharp. I usually like his analysis. I think it's pretty spot on. So he has the Cowboys trading up with Kansas City to go get Caleb Downs. They have the 12th and the 20th pick. So Dallas would get 9, 29, and 148. Those are all Kansas City selections. And Dallas would give up 12 and 20. And those would be Kansas City's 2 first-round selections. I would make this trade. I'm curious if you guys would make this trade. 913-586-7965. We got a lot of draft stuff to get into over the next couple of days. And I love talking about the draft. And this is when I'm really fired up about it. Because we're less than 2 weeks away. We kind of know all these guys at this point. You feel like you have an understanding of where the board is going to go. But I think we all can agree that this draft process is now a little bit too long. We should probably be having the draft this weekend. There's no real need to stretch this thing out. The Masters is now over. There is nothing you are competing with this weekend. I guess WrestleMania, but WrestleMania would just have to move to what the NFL wants to do instead of vice versa. This feels like the week we should be having the NFL draft. And the biggest reason why I think that is we've now circled back to Jeremiah Love could be available for the Chiefs at number 9. We've run out of draft topics.
Then at 9, I know everybody thinks Kenneth Walker. That would take the Chiefs out of the running back business. I'm going to put Jeremiah Love there. He's just too good of a player. You can use him in a bunch of different ways. That would be a fun toy for Eric Bieniemy and Andy Reid.
I mean this, and I'm not saying this to be flippant. I'm not saying this to be a joke. If the Chiefs drafted a running back with the 9th overall pick after giving Kenneth Walker the 4th highest running back contract in the history of the National Football League, everybody associated with that decision should be fired. I know you guys get on me for entertaining the possibility that right tackle is a need for the Kansas City Chiefs, even though I think it is. We can just disagree on how big of a need it is, but it is definitely a need for Kansas City. You know what right now is pretty far down the line in the first round of needs that need to be addressed? It's Jeremiah Love and a running back in the first round. You cannot take Jeremiah Love if you're the Kansas City Chiefs. You can trade that pick. Maybe there's a team that they're stunned that he is falling on the board, and now they want to move up with you to go make that deal. They want to go make that move. Hell, I don't even care if it's a team that you're competing with in the AFC. Like, what if it's Baltimore that ends up calling you and they want to go up and make the move? Yes, I would trade with Baltimore to help them go get Jeremiah Love. You pick up some additional assets. Now, I'm taxing Baltimore because of who we are, and we know we're going to potentially have to face them at some point. But yeah, there's no team I wouldn't trade the rights to Jeremiah Love to if you were the Kansas City Chiefs. You cannot draft him with the 9th overall pick. That's number one. And number two, Rob, seems very simple to me. I don't think that Jeremiah Love is going to be there at number 9. I would be surprised if that is the case, because I believe we will find this out when the draft is over. I think there will be at least a quarter of the teams in the league that had Jeremiah Love as the number 1 player on their board. I think there's a lot of teams in the league that think Jeremiah Love is the best player in this board. If you're the best player, you don't last to 9. Now, I get it, positional value, but it seems like teams are starting to reinvest in the running back position. We saw a running back go top 5 last year. I think we're going to see another running back go top 5 this year. I think he's going number 4 overall to the Tennessee Titans. I also think if he's there at number 5, I think the Giants would also end up taking Jeremiah Love. So I don't think he's going to be there, but it's really twofold. The Chiefs cannot be the team that takes Jeremiah Love. They certainly have way more needs than now making Jeremiah Love their number 2 running back. And number 2, I just don't think that he's going to be on the board for Daniel Jeremiah. So this is the evidence that I would present to the league that we've been doing this for way too long. We've spun the complete gamut now of draft topics. We've run out. There's no more draft topics for any of us. We're all coming up with stuff that we've come up with before. If you thought the Chiefs should have got Jeremiah Love before free agency, sure, that made a lot of sense. But now we've seen free agency. It's over. The Chiefs have addressed the running back position. They cannot select him.
Listen, I don't even want to entertain the notion of Jeremiah Love being picked at number 9 because it's so stupid for all the reasons you laid out. Like, just the stupidest thing I've ever heard. But you hit on something there that's 100% correct. Why is the draft at the end of April? College football season now ends in January.
Gotta get over with, man.
The NFL Combine is in February. The entirety of March, and now, because the draft is on the 24th of April, most of all of April is gone too. What are we waiting for? I know the answer is money, and the NFL wants to be a ratings juggernaut and blah, 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 blah. I get it. But we don't need 6 weeks between the Combine and the draft, and we definitely don't need 18 weeks between when college football ends and when the draft starts. It just leads to more fodder and more nonsense. Daniel Jeremiah is one of the best, I think, at the mock draft analysis game. And him saying, give Eric Bieniemy another toy to play with a running back at 9, is just a sign that he has nothing left to talk about on his podcast. He's out of topics. It's fine.
Over. And we've been doing this now for 3 months. Since the end of the college football playoff, and I mean, the top 16 to 24 has been locked in now for also 90 days. It's over. Let's just get there. Let's speed forward. We're now finding out about criminal cases that we didn't know anything about. It's over. It's been a great ride. We all have made our money out of the NFL draft. We've all got our clicks out of the NFL draft. It's time to get it going. It's time to get to action. The only thing this draft cycle isn't missing is an unreleased weed video from a top offensive lineman prospect. That's the only thing not missing in this year's NFL draft.
And I, for one, would be stunned if Utah right tackle Spencer Fano.
Weedhead, big pothead. No, it's that one offensive line from Miami.
Oh, yeah,
that's who
good call.
It's that one from Miami.
Will he fall to 9? 913-586. Just, I hate it.
Little did we know that Miami team had so many character concerns. We had absolutely no clue.
To be fair, we should have known. It's Miami.
Very good point. Coming up in a little bit, we are going to head to Lawrence, Kansas. Before that, I want to play for you guys what Bobby Witt Jr. had to say. He says the Royals have to be better.
We just do our thing and just keep putting together good at-bats. We're going to be in a good spot. Just keep putting our blinders on and keep moving forward. Don't let any outside noise, whatever it is, just we know how good we are. We know what we're capable of doing, and that's what we're going to continue doing. In reality, we got to play better. We got to be better. I got to be better, and so we just got to go out there and keep working. And sometimes you got to get uncomfortable with the work you're doing and going out there. Just got to be better, and so that's what we're working forward. We're going to keep being better. We got an off day tomorrow, regroup, and then get to Detroit. Get ready.
I feel like we're getting on base for one.
So that was Bobby Witt Jr. He says that the Royals need to be a little bit better. We're going to talk to Denny Matthews, excuse me. We're going to talk to Denny coming up at the top of the hour. I mean, I understand that in most 4-game series, you just want to try to split. Nobody wins, nobody loses, nobody gains anything, nobody loses anything. That's usually the position that you want to be in. But when you split a 4-game series with the Chicago White Sox, and in the 2 wins that you had, you win 2-0, it doesn't feel the best, It It's not a great feeling that you have. Nobody is really feeling great about what just took place this weekend out at Kauffman Stadium, but none of that matters. They are now going on the road, and this feels like an important week for the Royals. They are going on the road to play Detroit. That is the defending champion in their division, and they're also going on the road to play the New York Yankees, one of the best teams in baseball. So this is a very big week and an important week to must-wake-up bats. The Royals got to get the bats going. Let's head to the phone lines right now and be joined by Shreyas Ladha. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks for the Kansas City Star. We're going to stop by all three of the local schools and get an update on the transfer portal. Shreya, happy to have you on the show, man. Appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Always great hopping on.
Absolutely. So I heard and I read some KU fans arguing about this, and I was legitimately confused at what they were even debating. So Louisville is coming to Kansas next year for an exhibition game. Flory is going to play in the exhibition game, and Kansas fans were arguing on whether or not they should boo him. I will help them boo Flory Badunga for transferring to Louisville.
I think you're well within your right, well within Kansas fans' right, but that's just the modern portal combat, as they say, because tough to see Flory leave. I know Kansas fans will downplay it and say he's undersized and he has deficiency, yada, yada, yada. But to me, you don't want to lose a guy that was all Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, no matter what the perceived price tag was. And I completely understand if Kansas fans are frustrated with losing him. And I anticipate that building being filled with boos when he does come to Kansas.
Was it any other reason that Flory transferred other than money? Because that's what it appears from the outside.
I don't think so. I mean, candidly, I asked around about what his draft stock would look like to a number of NBA scouts. And they told me, it was early to mid second round. So the set price for early to mid second round is significantly less than what the perceived price point of what he allegedly might have gotten from Louisville. And I've heard from a few different non-KU sources. It was over $5 million. Somebody said 6.5. You get the idea that he was getting paid like a lottery pick would get paid, top 10 if he had gone to the NBA. So I've been told even mid-season that Flory would probably make more money by coming back to college versus going to the NBA. But I think he'll still probably go through the draft process. But to me, if you think about it logically, it just seems like a money oriented reason to go. And I don't blame him whatsoever. I mean, that's well and within his right. But he was supposed to go to Duke, but he canceled his visit. And that, to me, speaks, reading between the lines, is they hit the number that Flory wanted to commit to Louisville. He'll probably get another year of college basketball and then get drafted late first or early second round next year.
Because it's funny, because Flory's legacy at Kansas should be what we've seen so many great Jayhawks go off to do. He develops, and by the time it's his third year, he's a first-team All-Big 12 guy, a potential Big 12 Player of the Year. I think he's one of the best defensive bigs they've had in quite some time. But despite all of that, people are going to remember Flory for just being a bag chaser.
Yeah, I think that's just the kind of epitome of the modern portal, right? If he was here for another year, I think the way we look at him is completely different, right? If he was here for another year and decided, okay, I'm going to bag chase for my last year because I'm not a first-round pick, I think Kansas fans would look at him a lot differently versus, well, he entered the portal twice, okay? And he obviously didn't leave last year, but there were some murmurs that, he was considering Auburn and Kansas. And I know I talked to his guardian, Dylan Kraft. I always felt he was coming back, but there was absolutely some flirtation there with Auburn last year. This year, when he entered the portal, I can say this much: my communication with Flory Camp was not great, and that kind of reading between the lines, I had a sense that Flory was not coming back to Kansas anyways. But it's such a weird thing talking about legacy because, I mean, candidly, this is a guy they developed for 2 years, and Bill Self and his staff have done a good job. I mean, this is a guy that worked out with Darren Peterson and Jock at 4 a.m. like multiple times a week. This is a guy beloved by fans, and now he's going to Louisville and he's chasing a bag quite a bit higher than Kansas, I believe, was willing to pay. And we're looking at what does he mean in the grand scheme of things? And to me, he's just a guy that was good for 2 years, and then he chased the bag, like you said.
Right now, we're joined by Shreyas Ladha. He covers the Kansas Jayhawks for the Kansas City Star. We are getting a little bit of a portal update on what's happening with Kansas. Who all plays for Kansas right now? It seems like it's Cole Rosario and the Miracles at this point. Why was there such a mass exodus out of KU?
Well, I was told even if Bill came back or Bill left, there's an expectation that a lot of people would leave. Right now, Paul Mbia is still deciding whether or not to stay or go. I wrote a story about that this weekend. He said he was going to enter the transfer portal to us on Monday to the Star, and then he never really has entered the transfer portal because from what I was told, that his camp believes you get 3 times more money in the open market, but Paul is a very loyal guy. He's fallen deeply in love with Kansas. So if you're a Paul Mbia stan, I think that's exciting news because then at least you have 2 rotation players with Cole Rosario returning per Jeff Goodman's report. And that's, I think, a big thing. But the rest of the guys, I mean, you think about it. Let's go through the list. Samiz Calderon seldom played freshman. The expectation, what I heard from the staff, was they wanted to kind of recruit more of a startable bench. Samish had some raw talent, but didn't quite show too much in the minutes he did play. Marco Jamari, program guys, Kansas likes him, but the expectation was they go from 6th or 7th man to 10th or 11th man. And no matter how much loyalty you have, I think they want to play basketball, right? Bryson Tiller, I've reported this extensively. Behind the scenes, the benching was not great for him or publicly. He told me he was shocked when he got benched. There's a feeling that, Kansas really liked his long-term potential, but there was some clash of personalities there a little bit where they wanted to see a little more from Bryson, play a little more true to size, play a little more physical, more aggressive. As you saw at different points of the season, him and Flory got bullied by bigger bigs. Flory, like we mentioned, chasing the bag. Who am I forgetting? There's got to be somebody else I'm forgetting here, but I think I've gone through the list of guys who are in the portal right
it's
now.
fine because, I can understand how you can forget because there's been so many players that have transferred out of KU over the last 2 weeks. I can see how you can forget 1 or 2. If you had to pinpoint right now, give me 1 or 2 names that you feel very confident that KU is going to lock in, and next year those guys are going to be starters for the Jayhawks.
That's a really tough question. I expect them to get one of the guys, hopefully, that is visiting today, in Deshaun Good from Robert Morris University or Terrence Hill Jr. from VCU. One of those guys, I think, if you get one or the other, I think that's a big get because I know that's on the board for Kansas. I think Terrence from Utah, who averaged 19 points per game, he had a Zoom meeting, I was told, today. They haven't locked down a visit, but that's another one to keep an eye on. I think things move so fluidly. Candidly, it's hard for me to sit there and say they're 100% to get anybody, but I will say this to Kansas fans. I was told that there is an expectation that they will lock at least a player or 2 down by Tuesday, and if they don't, then they understand the panic. But I asked a few different sources this weekend, and everyone says everyone's in this instant gratification mindset versus it's going to take time to build this roster, and I completely get it. And we still don't know what's happening with Tyron Stokes. Like that whole piece of thing is something to keep an eye out on.
What do you think is going to happen with Tyron Stokes?
If I knew, that'd be the $1 million question. But I feel like I oscillate between I think he's ready, he's going to come to Kansas, then he's not going to come to Kansas. I asked a source the other day, do you make anything of him visiting Kentucky today, or is it just him trying to raise the price? And the source said, I think you answered your own question. So I feel like there's still confidence on the Kansas side of things. Kentucky, it seems like they still confidence as well. I think both these programs at this point are just waiting for him to make a decision because so much of their roster building will be built around that. I thought it was interesting that Tyron said that the staff is keeping him in the loop about what's going on with the roster and the different guys they're looking at. That's kind of similar to what they did with Darren last year. I know multiple guys in the portal told me that they were talking about Zoom meetings, and they were talking about how Darren was a guy they have to play alongside, and Kansas asked about how they play alongside that. So, I'm intrigued. I think Kansas fans should be optimistic until they don't, I guess. I think a lot of this would have been solved by if Tyron Stokes was an Adidas athlete versus a Nike athlete. I think we would have had a decision a lot sooner. But I think because he's a Nike athlete and Kansas is an elite school, I think things are a little complicated, and there's a lot at stake for both sides.
That is Shreyas Ladha joining us on the show. He covers Kansas for the Kansas City Star. We're going to have these portal updates over the course of the next couple of weeks. The transfer portal closes on the 21st of April, so you have to announce your intention to join the transfer portal. You do not have to commit during that time frame. That's a very important note. Shreyas, we'll catch up with you down the line, my man. Have a great rest of your week.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.
Absolutely. That is Shreyas Ladha joining us on the show. He covers KU. We'll react coming up on the other side. We're also going to keep it in Kansas and go to Manhattan and find out how they're doing in the transfer portal. Keep it right here. So Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, the go-to show for dating advice you didn't ask for.
If you got to ask your girl to help on the bill on Valentine's Day, you've done something wrong.
On your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5, The Fan.
Foley Rental is your locally owned equipment rental store for commercial, industrial, farm, and residential projects with a large fleet of aerial lifts, telehandlers, generators, trench shoring, and temperature control equipment, plus cat skid steers, excavators, loaders, and attachments, all inspected and maintained by over 500 certified technicians, so you stay safe and on schedule. Foley Rental, committed to you from the ground up. Call 855-RENT-FOLEY or visit FoleyRental.com.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week, new segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee.
Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most.
That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included.
Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi.
Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that.
Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hi, I'm Carter. And I'm Charlie. We'd like to share a quick story about a homeowner named Jack.
Jack had a home he needed to sell fast.
And Jack thought he had it all figured out.
So Jack talked to multiple cash buyers.
Jack chose the highest offer.
But the day before closing, guess what? The buyer backed out.
Leaving Jack with the moving truck all packed in the driveway and not sure what to do.
Jack learned the hard way that the highest offer isn't always the right offer.
Jack got suckered.
Make sure you aren't hung out to dry.
Call our dad at Rex Buys KC.
Our dad is local, he knows Kansas City, and he actually closes deals.
No repairs, no fees, no showings, no surprises.
Just a fair cash offer and a smooth process.
Now, don't be like Jack.
Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
How was your break? It was great until I stopped for gas. Prices have gone up almost $1 with no end in sight. I might have to start watching how much I drive.
That's exactly why I use Upside. I never pay full price for gas with the free Upside app.
Upside?
Yes, Upside. It's the free app that gives you cash back just for buying the gas you're already buying. So, even with the rising gas prices, I'll never have to limit how much I drive.
Does that actually add up to anything?
Just last year, I made over $200 with the Upside app.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app right now.
Download the free Upside app to earn cash back on the gas you're already buying. Use promo code WAGON for an extra 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code WAGON for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first fill-up. That's WAGON.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
Expect a high of 81 this afternoon with mostly cloudy skies.
Weather brought to you by Staples. From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in-store and online. Staples. That was easy.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, I want to read a couple of these texts before we head to Manhattan, and we're going to talk about K-State transfer portal. Someone just sent in, NIL has ruined college sports. It's hard to root for an entire new team every year, especially if we just play our old players. It's turned into AAU ball. Why would fans ever buy a player's jersey if he's just going to leave? I don't mind them paying the player, but make them sign a 2 or 3 year contract. I would also be in favor of this. This would also start with them making the players employees. One important thing to note when it comes to NIL, it is not these schools paying the player. It is us paying the players. Rob, who is somebody who donates into the Williams Scholarship Fund, it is an NIL slush fund is what it is. So if we want the players to sign these 2 and 3 year deals and turn into employees, that all sounds good. Are these schools ready to start giving the kids a portion of the March Madness television money that they're keeping? Are they ready to start giving them a percentage of the tickets? Because that's what professional sports do. So I hear all of this, and all of these are great suggestions in making this more like what it is. Jay Billis said this a couple of weeks ago. This is no longer amateur athletics. It stopped being amateur athletics a long time ago. We have just always treated the adults like employees. We need to start treating the kids more like employees. I mean, I don't think anyone really loves the system that we currently have with the portal and how many times you can transfer. And guys are playing 6 years of college sports, but now trying to get a waiver to play a 7th year. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of this way either, but this is the way that it is. So your team just better figure out a way to recruit and make it work and try to win given the rules. And right now, there just don't really appear to be much. So spend as much money as you can and try to build the best roster possible and see if you can go out there and win a championship that way. Let's head to Kansas State. We're going to be joined by Derek Young. We're going to get the Kansas State perspective on the transfer portal. Denny Matthews is going to join us coming up at the top of the hour. Derek, how you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Just trying to track all the transfer information and kind of like what you said, right? Michigan really went out and bought a national championship. So basically that's what you're doing now when you go into the transfer portal, trying to buy a championship.
100%. You just got to position your roster, and you also got to spend your resources wisely and get the right players. So let's talk about K-State. What has their perception been of the portal, where you're coming in a new coach, you're going to completely start your roster basically from scratch? How have they navigated the portal so far?
They're doing a good job if you talk about in relation to maybe how you spend that money, right? That's what it comes down to, because not everyone has the same amount of money. And for the last 2 to 3 years, Kansas State has had a lot of money to spend on a roster, but that money didn't take them far. It wasn't spent wisely. And Casey Alexander, to no fault of his own, is probably going to be shouldering some of the, I guess, fallout for some of those decisions, because now you got a little bit of fatigue or a little bit of hesitation on the part of the donors and the people that are actually funding these rosters, because they haven't seen a lot of return on investment. So the money isn't there as much, but from what I can tell is that they're probably going to spend what they do have in a much better, concise, and schematic way.
To the best of your knowledge, how much money does K-State have, given everything that they've had to pay for athletic-wise over the last 6 months or so?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think that, they were probably north of $10 million to spend on their roster under Jerome Tang, and probably a good amount more than that each of the last 2 years. They're under that this year. So from a financial resource allocation in terms of what they have to spend on a roster, it's probably close to cut in half for Casey Alexander in year one. So he's got to navigate that, but I think he knew that going in. I don't think that was like a shock to the system that they were promising something more and he doesn't have that. I think he knew that going in, and I think he believes that he can still navigate that, because even at Belmont, though he was paid well himself as the head coach in terms of salary competition in the Missouri Valley Conference, Belmont was probably not even middle of the road when it came to, financial resources for the roster in the Missouri Valley Conference. So he's kind of been here before and still been one of the better teams. And I think he believes he can transfer those strategies, those plans, and those schematics over to Kansas State and try to do the same in the Big 12. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to do it one, just like you did in the Missouri Valley, but that's what he's going to have to at least try to do in year one until maybe those dollars come back to the program.
What's the philosophy right now for K-State in the portal? Are they looking for the one and done, I guess, PJ Haggerty type who seems to be a basketball mercenary, or are they trying to find guys that they think can be in Manhattan for the next 2 to 3 seasons?
A little bit of both. I think they got a couple of guys that obviously only have a year left, so they're there to try to put out a good enough product to make the NCAA tournament in year one. We'll see if they do. But they also, it's a little bit of a blend. They got some guys that can also stay in Manhattan for multiple seasons. We basically saw Jerome Tang completely abandon high school recruiting the last couple of years. Well, the first thing that Casey Alexander did was bring over the 2 highest basketball signees ever at Belmont. So they were both in the top 200 of prospects, which is a pretty incredible feat for someone of Belmont's stature, and he got them both to come to Kansas State with him. So he is trying to build a program akin to maybe like what we've seen over the years at like an Iowa State or most recently Nebraska, where you do have the capability and can maybe retain 7 to 9 players a year, so you don't have to go into the transfer portal each time and get at least 10 more new players. Now he has to do that this time, but in the future he doesn't want to have to do that, and it's kind of a sigh of relief for those around Manhattan and around the Kansas State program, because to be quite honest, even from covering it, it's been really, really exhausting the last, 3 years of Kansas State basketball, and when you basically have at least 12 new players in each cycle.
That is Derek Young joining us on the show today. He covers Kansas State, just wants to get an update on them on the transfer portal. Derek, we'll have you on once we get more news for K-State and once they start locking more of the roster in for next season. Appreciate your time.
Thanks again, Carrington.
Absolutely. That's Derek Young joining us on the show today. Rob, I will say this about college basketball and just the way that I think the schedule is put together. I don't know how sustainable this schedule is, because just think about it like this. Can you imagine if the Super Bowl is on Sunday and then on the following Monday, so literally 24 hours after the Super Bowl is up, we start NFL free agency? When would we ever talk about the season that just finished or talk about the game? Well, that's currently the model that we have in college basketball. The NCAA championship is on Monday. The transfer portal opens up that same day at 11 o'clock at night. So now we just instantly start free agency. So, college basketball season is still currently happening right now. Yes, there are no games, but the moves that your team is currently making right now will shape and determine what next year looks like. It's free agency right now. That's what the transfer portal is. Free agency is open right now in college basketball. So if your team needs a big, now's the time to go get them. You are not getting that player in June or July. You're going to go get that player right now. And you look at the money that is being thrown out there. You look at the money that is being reported to be throwing out there for some of these guys. Now, I was reading a story earlier today. Seems like the portal's moving a little bit slower than it has. Now, I think a lot of that is, I think players are asking for unrealistic numbers, and they're having to come back a little bit more to realism. But only 12 of the top 50 players on 24/7 Sports in the transfer portal have already signed. Now, we saw a lot of them sign over the weekend. I think you'll see more and more of these players start to trickle in, and we'll start to get some of these rosters solidified. But I don't know what sport. This doesn't make sense to me, how you would just end your championship and then the next day it's like, oh, yeah, it's free agency time. Wait, we didn't get a chance to really recap. We're right in it still when it comes to the season. There's a lot of things that I think need to be fixed and switched around for college basketball. Why don't we move Denny Matthews to 3:15? Why don't we give ourselves a little bit of room to talk here? Coming up at the top of the hour, there were some big news around Ruben Bane. We'll tell you what it is. I'll give you my thoughts on it as well coming up at the top of the hour. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. When severe weather hits, tune in to 98.1 KMBZ for Operation Stormwatch. Brought to you by Century Roofing. Proudly voted the #1 roofing company in all of Kansas City. CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details.
Do you owe back taxes or have unfiled tax returns? The IRS won't quit until they get your money. Here's great news, fresh from those in the know. Major changes have happened at the IRS. If you owe more than $10,000, you may be eligible for a 99% reduction of what you owe. Haven't filed a return for a while? Their happy clients are talking.
The IRS was going to levy my bank account, but Guardian was able to prevent that and fix all my IRS issues. Thanks again, Guardian Tax.
Need relief from crushing tax debt? The IRS now has special programs. Guardian Tax knows all about them. Personal or business, this is the fresh new brick you've been hoping for.
We aren't the company you call when you need a hug because you're scared of the IRS. Guardian Tax is the company that wins when you need it most.
Guardian Tax Service is really great to work with. They really help me out. I'd recommend them highly.
Call now for a free confidential consultation. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424. 800-499-1424.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Deli Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at TellyTire.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. I need a little range, step to the range, come on, meet me at the
Introducing the new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club Sandwich. With that juicy Chick-fil-A chicken on a buttermilk ranch bun, jalapeno ranch sauce, and pickled jalapenos, it's a little ranch with a lot of kick. The new Chick-fil-A Jalapeno Ranch Club with original spicy or grilled filet. Available for a limited time only. Order ahead on the Chick-fil-A app.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 now at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This report is brought to you by Bet365. Winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Draft coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are. That's the benefit of blue.
Hey Kansas City, this is Cole Reagans. On your way home from the K, tune into Vern's postgame show right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I want to get to Ruben Bane here coming up in a little bit. Can we start with this? Rob, can you help me understand why the league talks about Josh Allen at times like he's some kind of boogeyman? The way the league talks about Josh Allen, a guy who I got all the respect for in the world, Colin Cowherd, I think he's the best person at this job. He said that Josh Allen's the most talented quarterback that he has ever seen before. This is Charles Omenihu. You guys know him, Super Bowl champion, played in Kansas City, certainly had his run-ins with Josh Allen. He said that the league hasn't figured out Josh Allen. Listen to this.
I don't think the league has truly figured him out.
Yeah.
What you mean by that?
He had 3 touchdowns, 72 rushing yards.
With Lamar, honestly, you bring a 5-man rush on him and collapse that pocket, he's drifting backwards. And unfortunately, he might make a play that isn't going to be the best play for the Ravens. With Josh, he going to drift backwards, run around, and he's so hard to tackle, and he's a large human being. Say, I fix my blender. He's a large human being, hard to get down, and he can make every throw, bro. Every throw from no matter where he's at. His arm strength is unbelievable. I don't think Lamar has that big amount of arm strength like how Josh does.
All right, I've heard enough. Why do we talk about Josh Allen like he's 2011 Aaron Rodgers? Why do we talk about Josh Allen like he's 07 Tom Brady? Like he's 2018 Patrick Mahomes? You're telling me the league hasn't figured out a quarterback who in his last game had 4 turnovers? They haven't figured that guy out. A guy who has never played for a championship. The league hasn't figured this guy out, and he's 30 years old? Why do we do this with Josh Allen? It's everybody. Was there some kind of meeting, Rob, that you and I were not invited to where they started handing out these talking points for Buffalo's quarterback? I genuinely do not understand it. I get why we talk about Steph Curry the way that we talk about him. I get why we talk about LeBron that way. Or Rory McIlroy, who just won back-to-back Masters championships. Patrick Mahomes. I can go up and down the list. It all makes sense to me why we talk about Simone Biles the way that we discuss her. The way we talk about Josh Allen is not at all indicative of what he has actually done and accomplished in the league. I don't understand. You can't give me the other great superstar player who at this stage in his career has not yet, at least at a minimum, played for a championship. We're talking about this. The way they talk about Josh Allen, you would think he has 2 Super Bowl rings. Maybe I'm overreacting to it, but the league hasn't figured out Josh Allen. Yeah, maybe not in September. They seem to be able to figure it out quite well in January. There's nothing to figure out in February. He never made it that far in the NFL season. It blows my mind. I don't know what these NFL players, I don't know. This might be indicative that there's if you don't believe in CTE, the way they talk about Josh Allen makes me believe it's real. That should be your proof right then and there that CTE is a real thing with the way that they discuss Josh Allen, because it makes literally no sense the way that they do this. Let's move on. I'm floored. I'm flabbergasted is what I am when it comes to this. All right, so I want to read this story to you guys. Now, I did not know this story. Maybe you guys had heard this story. Maybe you had read it before. I feel like by now I would have seen this story. I try to keep up on these things, but I had no clue about this until this weekend. So former Miami defensive end and 2026 draft prospect Ruben Bane was involved in an auto accident in 2014. And in this auto accident, a passenger later died because of the injuries sustained in that crash. So according to the story, Ruben Bane was cited for careless driving for the accident. This had happened at 4 a.m. in Miami back in March 17th of 2024. The crash alleged that Bane was driving a 2021 Land Rover. NIL must be really good. He was driving a 2021 Land Rover. He had 2 other people in his car. They got into a car accident with a 22-year-old woman from Georgia. Her name is Destiny Betts. She was the one that passed away. So Ruben Bane's car rear-ended him. It veered into a concrete barrier. It ricocheted. It done some other damage. The young lady, Destiny Betts, the one that I mentioned, she had to go to a trauma center. She was in a coma for nearly 3 months. She later passed away because of these injuries. So all of this is important to note that it would appear, based on what I've read, NFL teams knew about this. This had been resolved. This had been solved. There was a public statement that was issued from her family. So the family of the woman that died as a result of this car accident, because this story came out so close to the NFL draft, they released a statement yesterday. Quote, Destiny's passing was the result of a tragic accident that occurred several years ago. While the loss remains incredibly painful for our family, we have worked hard to find peace and move forward. At this time, we are not seeking public attention surrounding this tragedy and respectfully request that our family's privacy be honored. We also wish Mr. Bane the best as he continues his life and career. Now, there was a settlement reached in this. I don't know how much the amount. I don't know who paid the settlement, but this is a legal matter that has been completely done. It has been completely resolved, and it seems like all parties have moved on from this incident. This is my question. How did we find out about this? Why is this being reported now? We're less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft, and we're talking about somebody who is going to go on to be a top 10 pick. Let's think about where this information could have come from. There's no reason to believe that this information was leaked by Ruben Bane's agent. Why would you do this if you're Ruben Bane's agent? Obviously, you know about this incident, and teams know about it. But I don't really think it's in Ruben Bane's interest to now go up to Ian Rappaport like, hey, guess what? This thing happened in 2024. Why don't you tell everybody this 13 days before the draft? So I don't think that the source of this information is Ruben Bane's camp, Ruben Bane's circle. Doesn't really make any sense. The only thing that makes sense to me, Rob, this has to come from a team that wants him to fall in the NFL draft. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. Like, it only makes sense to me if you're a team like the Rams, for instance, or Kansas City. If you are worried about Ruben Bane going 5th overall or 6th overall in the NFL draft, the best way to get him to potentially fall to you in the NFL draft and maybe not have to use any picks to move up is a story like this that comes out. The public perception starts to change around that player, and then you jump in and you take advantage of a potential falling stock. That's the only thing that really makes sense to me, how we would find this story out so close to the NFL draft. Now, I have no clue where the source is. I'm just trying to piece it together and trying to use some logic and deductive reasoning. But you would have to think that this is a team toward the middle of the NFL draft that the goal of us finding out this information is to try to get Ruben Bane to fall in the draft so they could then take advantage of him falling in the draft.
That's the only thing I can possibly imagine. Because now, I would have a different opinion if you read the story from the person whose passing came from this accident, if they had a different sentiment, a different comment, a different standard. But it seems like they are, saddened by the loss, but have begun to move on and understand this is, happened in their past and everyone's moving forward. It doesn't seem like anyone benefits from the story getting out there other than teams who have Ruben Bane falling down their board. I'm also confused by, for as much as we talk about how, the NFL knows all, how are we just finding out about this, but NFL teams knew? This just continues to highlight something to me, and this is kind of a veer off Ruben Bane. When NFL teams, play dumb and act like, oh man, we had no idea player X had red flags. Stop it. If you knew about a car accident where someone passed away before the NFL media knows and regular media knows, you know everything. But the story getting out there so close to draft is definitely, the Cowboys trying to depreciate Ruben Bane's stock.
Now, this is something I would love for a police officer or someone in the know to be able to answer this question, because this part of the story, it honestly just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So Ruben Bane got in this car accident at 4 a.m. in Miami. Now, I don't think I'm wrong in this assumption, but if you get in this car accident and it's you and another group of individuals, and it's 3 young people in the car and it's 4 a.m., I'm going to assume that you were out drinking or doing something you weren't supposed to do. I don't think that's a bad assumption, right? It's March, it's spring break time, it's in 2024, we got a little bit of money in our pocket, we're riding around in a 2021 Land Rover. I would assume that you were doing something you weren't supposed to do. He was cited at the time of the incident, but the charges were eventually dropped in relation to the death. RIP to that woman. There were no field sobriety tests given according to the crash report. Why would they not have done a field sobriety test? Am I missing something? Again, I don't know. I'm not saying they were negligent here. I have absolutely no clue. I'm not pretending to be a police officer or law enforcement in that way. But I don't understand how you can get into a car accident at 4 a.m. and you're there and they don't see if you're under the influence of anything. That seems like a very odd thing to me.
No sobriety test at all is puzzling to me. Now, I wouldn't know. I'm not a cop. I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. Perhaps there's no probable cause. I have no answer to your question. I would like to know the answer as well. My guess would be lack of probable cause, but I don't know that has, they stopped Tiger for a similar, not similar accident. They stopped Tiger about 2 weeks ago for an accident and immediately administered a sobriety test. It's odd that in Miami at 4 a.m. that didn't come up.
Yeah, and someone on the text line says, CDOT, we had 5 a.m. workouts in March for football, so it could be that. I don't know. It seems weird, though. I mean, again, I've absolutely no clue. I have no clue why you would be out at 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in the morning, driving anywhere. But if you were telling me that that's what it was, okay, that makes sense to me, right? Early morning. I'm just sitting here saying I went back and looked at it. He got into a car accident at 4 a.m. early Sunday morning. So, March 16th was a Saturday, and you got into this car accident early Sunday morning. I'm just going to assume you were out partying. I'm just going to assume. Maybe that's a terrible assumption. I'm just going to assume you were out partying when you got into this car wreck at 4 a.m. in the morning in Miami. Why were there no field sobriety tests done right then and there for this person to find out if he was under the influence of anything? But again, that's just me asking the question. I didn't know anything about this until 2 days ago when the story just seemed to pop up. But it is important to note he was not charged with anything. The charges were dropped. He was cited at the time of the incident. The charges were later dropped. He has now reached a settlement, or a settlement has been reached with this woman's family. And they are saying good luck to him, good luck to his career, good luck to him for the rest of his life. We don't have anything else to comment on the matter. So if they're saying the matter is closed, I got to respect their wishes, and I also got to say the matter's closed. If we believe the NFL teams knew about this and they were asking questions, great. You should be asking questions. I've got my questions about this. I don't think this is going to be reason enough for him to fall in the draft because this doesn't sound like it was a curveball by anybody. It seems like they all knew about this, and at least if you're reading it, it seems like teams feel his answer was sufficient about what happened with Ruben Bane. But the timing of this, it is not suspicious to me. This happens less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft when he's starting to get a little bit of buzz. I think he's going to go top 10 in the NFL draft. He's as hot of a prospect he's ever been, and now we're going to throw in this, oh, yeah, you guys didn't know about this. He got in a serious car accident in 2024. All of it just seems real fishy, if you ask me. Coming up on the other side, let's get back to the Royals. Denny Matthews is going to join us on the show. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. You can turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets for just getting started. And when every possession matters the way it does in the playoffs, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is making it even easier to get closer to the action, from your favorite player props to your future stars to all the tools you need to back them up. FanDuel puts player research right there at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all right there on the app, and you can make your picks with total confidence. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot as we are heading into the NBA playoffs. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. And remember, play your game with America's #1 sportsbook app and official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 in President, Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued and non-withdrawable bonus back. Sorry, Sundays on street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I'm gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Whether you're commuting to work or heading out for a fast coffee break, getting an auto insurance quote is just a tap away. With AAA, you're always connected, so you can focus on the road ahead. Rest easy knowing AAA's got you covered, no matter where life takes you. AAA, we're always with you. To start your quote, visit AAA.com/insurance. Insurance provided to qualified AAA members by Automobile Club Inter-Insurance Exchange and AAA affiliate insurers. Membership requires a separate payment.
Hi, I'm John Ray, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. Getting engaged? So friends, listen up. Shane Company engagement rings are protected with our all-inclusive free lifetime warranty. We stand behind the same quality we've offered since 1929. Our rings are crafted to last. It's why our warranty is the only one that protects your center stone. We also cover repairs, resizings, cleanings, and so much more. That's money you keep for you and your family. Because a friend always has your back. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Over time, your home's exterior takes a beating. You might notice faded colors or peeling paint. You need to call my friends at CertaPro Painters, whether you're thinking about the inside or outside of your home. Their free estimates are detailed and easy to understand, and you'll get a quote right away. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. And remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in KC. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Royals coverage on The Fan, sponsored by Salvation Army Kick Hunger Civic Lunch on May 7th. Get ready to kick off a summer of soccer in Kansas City while fighting hunger. Join the Salvation Army for the Kick Hunger Civic Lunch 2026 May 7th. Score big for local families in need. Grab your tickets or table today at KickHungerKC.com. That's KickHungerKC.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this. Still working the stalls that are, 435 westbound, just past 35, off to the right shoulder. You've got 435 westbound at 69. That's a stall blocking part of the right lane there. You've also got, center lane blocked. This is a new one, 435 eastbound, just before 470, 49. Yep, center lane blocked. I'm down with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. It is Monday at 3 o'clock. It's baseball season, so that can only mean one thing. Let's head to the phone lines right now to be joined by the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews, joins us on the show today. Denny, how are you doing today?
Doing good, Carrington. How about yourself?
Doing fantastic. Happy to have you on here. We have to get to the most important thing with the Kansas City Royals right now. It is their new City Connect uniforms. How do you feel about them?
I like them. I got a kind of a special look at them late last season. And, yeah, I liked them then, and I think the more that I see them, the more that I like them. What's your opinion?
The jerseys have grown on me a little bit. I don't know if I'll ever be 100% there with the color scheme because the Royals just have such distinct colors, the dark blue or the powder blue. The hat will never come around to me. I just don't like the hat.
Yeah, the more I saw it, the better I liked it. I'll put it that way. Some things have to grow on you. Now, you know me. I love the traditional uniform and hoping it will never change, but this is a nice addition.
What's your favorite Royals uniforms that they wear?
I loved when the numbers and the Royals across the front were in gold. Remember those?
I do. That was 2016, right? That was after the World Series.
That's correct. Yeah, and that's why. But those are just so good looking, and I could go with those all the time.
You know a jersey combination on which they wore more often? Back in the mid-2000s, which just seems like an era of Royals baseball that people want to forget, and I completely understand why. I kind of liked those black uniforms. I liked when they went with the alternate ones or the ones that said Kansas City on the front. Maybe it's nostalgia, but I actually liked those unis.
I was lukewarm on them. Black, to me, is not Royals colors. If you want to talk about Pittsburgh, that's fine. But blue and white, royal blue and white, and that's the Royals.
Right now, we're talking to the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews. Let's talk about the baseball team. Now, usually you are not too upset about a 2-2 4-game series split, but it feels like at home against the White Sox, you would have loved to have won 3 out of 4 this weekend.
And I thought we were headed in that direction, but yeah, yesterday's game was a little loose, a little sloppy, not very well played or pitched either way. And so, yeah, that was disappointing. I will admit that might be the most disappointing loss so far this year.
What are you noticing so far with the offense?
There's not much to notice at the moment, and it's just 3 or 4 guys carrying the team and trying to, but it's falling short, especially in the top part of the batting order. And we all know that Vinnie and Salvi are a big part of the RBI and the runs scored, and that's among the missing things so far. But again, it's only a couple of weeks in, and some guys are just slow starters. We've talked about that before, and eventually it'll come around and the offense will look much more efficient.
I saw a stat today that blew my mind that Bobby Witt Jr. has been on base 30 times so far this season, and he has been stranded on 29 of those on-base appearances. That just seems really, really hard to do.
I agree, and you stop and think about it. If he's either walked or singles, well, it's just like being at second base because of his ability to steal. So it's almost like he's had an extra base hit. He's in scoring position thanks to his speed, and they just haven't been able to get him in. So, yeah, that's a stunning development, I think, in the first 2 weeks of the season.
Right now, we're talking to the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews, getting his thoughts on the first couple of weeks of Royals baseball. Let's talk a little bit more about Vinnie Pasquantino. Sometimes perception becomes a reality, and you mentioned him being a slow starter. There's no question that Vinnie is going to heat up at some point. I mean, it's hard to be worse offensively, at least with the kind of production that you're used to when it comes to him. But, man, I feel like every April their offense is kind of waiting for Vinnie to heat up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's a couple of things. He's trying too hard right now. He's pressing, therefore you're chasing pitches that you can't handle, and missing pitches. By missing, I mean either fouling them off or not, or just taking them, pitches that you could handle. But that's going to turn around. That's going to change. It's a long season. Nobody's panicking yet. But Vinny's just pressing a little bit too much. He's a kind of an easygoing guy and out of character, but he'll be fine.
So to give you an idea of the splits, I just pulled this up for Vinnie Pasquantino. If you look at his April and March in his career, he is hitting .210 with a .299 on base percentage and slugging .366. If you just fast forward to May in his career, he is hitting .284 with a .333 on base percentage and a .448 slugging percentage. I mean, those are two radically different players in April and March as opposed to the player that historically Vinnie has been in May.
Yeah, absolutely, and that proves it that some guys just can't get it going in April, and some really great hitters of present or past, and it's just a fact of baseball. They're slow, but they come around. Everybody in baseball usually performs to their norm. If you hit 24 home runs, the next year you'll probably hit 26, and then the next year you might hit 25. Everybody plays to their ability with regard to the numbers, and so that's why nobody's really that worried about Vinny or Salvi or anybody like that, because they're going to find their norm, and if you look at their stats from the last 2 or 3 years, they'll be right close to those numbers, barring injury, right close to those numbers all the time. So no panic, no worry.
It's early on in the season, so I don't want to throw this out there too prematurely, but is there any chance that Salvi's struggles are related to age? And we all know Father Time is undefeated, and sometimes your regression just hits you rather quickly. Is there any chance that this is related to age?
Well, yeah, possibly, but I don't know that. He feels good. He's moving well, and if he's still struggling in 2 months, you'll say, okay, let's get to the bottom of this. But we're a long way from that point. Let's just be patient, wait for Vinny and Salvi to come around, and things are going to be a lot better.
Denny, last thing, and I'll get you out of here. It's been a while since I've asked you this question. What do you do during a rain delay?
I don't know. What do you do?
That's what I was asking.
Whatever you want, I guess.
I don't know if you're there reading books. I don't know if you're on the phone. I don't know if you're on the air. I just know the Royals have, they had a pretty long rain delay, and I'm sitting there thinking it's a home game. Denny is there. What's Denny up to?
Yeah, all those things you mentioned. I wander around. I'm on the phone. I talk to everybody that I can find. I just sometimes sit there in the booth and do some stuff, some homework stuff. And then I get bored with that, and then I'll go walk downstairs and see everybody, and then I'll come back upstairs and ask everybody if it's still raining. There's no plan. There's no plan. You're just kind of a loose cannon wandering about the areas of the ballpark from the top level to the bottom level, and hope that eventually you'll see a break in the clouds and somebody will say the first pitch will be at, and then you get the number and you think, oh, finally, let's go. Let's get this over with. Yeah, rain delays are no fun for anybody because they're not scripted. And you don't expect them. You expect them, but you don't like them. And you deal with them as you will. That's true of everybody, the players, the executives, the fans. And everybody has to deal with it, so you do whatever you do.
Denny, by the time you and I talk next week, we will have seen the entire American League Central. You're still waiting to see the Tigers. The Royals play them on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We'll kind of separate the Tigers portion of this. What are your early impressions of the American League Central?
I think there are 2 teams that are not very good and 3 teams that are competitive and possibly could win the division, which means the Royals only have to beat 2 teams. Now think about that. All they have to do is beat Detroit and Cleveland. Now, it's difficult. It's not all they have to do, but if they do, they're in great shape. So it's not a real competitive division. There are others that are really very competitive, and the AL Central is not one of them. So you've got 3 good teams. You've got 2 teams that are really scuffling and probably will the entire year, and that's the shape of things at the moment.
Is it one of those situations where the Kings stay the king, and until proven otherwise, you look at Detroit as being the favorite in the division?
Yeah, I think so. Cleveland's always good. Detroit has become good in the last 2 or 3 years, and the Royals are getting there. So, yeah, but neither Cleveland or Detroit are unbeatable, and the Royals know that, and everybody knows that. So what you have to do is just stay the course, and when you play those 2 teams, you have to kind of take charge. It's not easy, but it can be done, but it's going to be fun to watch.
It's certainly not going to be easy, but if you look at the probable pitchers, the Royals are throwing out Reagans, Lugo, and Bubic, and they also avoid Tarek Skubal this week. I mean, that's as good as I think you can ask from a probable pitching standpoint against a team in your division.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that. And Royals starting pitching has been so good, and things are set up very well. And if they remain consistent, then the Royals are going to have a pretty good year.
That is the Hall of Fame voice of the Kansas City Royals, Denny Matthews, joining us on the show today. The Royals, they play 6 games on the road this week, 3 in Detroit, and then they'll head to New Yankee Stadium this weekend. Denny, always great talking to you. Really appreciate your time.
You're welcome, Carrington.
That is Denny Matthews. We catch up with him every Monday to get his thoughts on the Kansas City Royals. Rob, I feel like we have reached sort of a Groundhog's Day effect, and I don't want to beat you guys over the head with the same 3 Royals topics every single day. There's too many other things that are happening in sports to come on here every day and ask, hey, are you buying into the Royals? Are you giving up on the Royals? Like, I don't want to do that every single day in April. That doesn't seem like a good use of anybody's time, but it does feel like we are in a holding pattern with the Royals offense to see if they're going to turn the corner. I mean, right now, if you're not going to get any power from Bobby Witt Jr., no power from Vinnie Pasquantino and Salvador Perez, I don't know how anybody can be surprised at the start that the Royals have gotten off to if that's going to end up being the case for you.
Yeah, we don't need to rehash this conversation. Me and you have had probably a half dozen times already this Royals season on the show, and it's been 16 games, but as long as their 3 and 4 hitters stink, they have no reason for optimism. If you are a Royals fan listening, I imagine you probably believe, hey, the 3 and 4 hitter, which includes a future Hall of Famer and maybe one of the more popular Royals, they're not going to stink all year. But I saw a stat, but if you look at everyone OPS-wise, where they rank in baseball by their respective position, Vinny's the worst first baseman in baseball for OPS, and Salvador Perez is either 30th or 29th in baseball among catchers in OPS. You can't have your 3 and 4 hitter be the literal worst player at their position and still think to yourself, we're going to be okay. So until those guys get going, the Royals are kind of stuck. It's great that Kyle Isbell's playing so well. It's fantastic they're getting big production out of Carter Jensen. Like, those things are exciting, but as long as Vinny and Salvi are a black hole at 3 and 4, their offense just isn't going anywhere.
I want to share this quick master's thought with you, Rob, and get your thoughts on this, because just as a casual, very casual golf fan, I know how to swing a golf club. If you invited me out to the driving range, I would go, and I think I could hold my own for a little bit. If you asked me to go to Top Golf, I could go out there and I wouldn't embarrass us. I'm the uber casual golf fan that can probably name 10 to 15 golfers because I've played the video game a handful of times. So I feel pretty knowledgeable, at least to say this. As I was watching Augusta, as I was watching the Masters yesterday, I thought that the final round of the Masters was, I think, sports 101. Time always moves forward, and the cycle just continues itself. For my generation of golf, I grew up on Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson and David Duval and all of these golfers, right? Now, there's a whole new set of golfers, and maybe they're not as good as the golfers that I grew up with, but golf is now creating its own superstars and people that you need to pay attention to in the same way that all of the other sports that we follow. You and I were fortunate enough to see Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, and we got a chance to see for 10, 12, 15 years, 2 of the 5 greatest quarterbacks in the history of the league in the same conference duel against one another for a very prolonged period of time. And you knew that every time that those 2 guys played each other and their teams played each other, that the game was going to have importance. Well, then one day the game didn't have Peyton Manning anymore. And then the game didn't have Tom Brady anymore. Well, what do you know? Patrick Mahomes came. And then Josh Allen came, and then Lamar Jackson happened, and now we have started the cycle over, and there is going to be a group of people that look at Mahomes the same way that you and I looked at Tom Brady, and then Mahomes is going to be gone, and the league is going to have to figure out what to do next. It feels to me like golf has been trying to figure out who that superstar golfer is going to be in a post-Tiger Woods world. Who is going to be the golfer that would get the person like me to pay attention? They have always had you, Rob, and your interest in golf. You never went anywhere. But there were a lot of people that flocked to golf, watched it for a period of time because this person drew us in. And when that person left, we left. Well, I would say that it appears to me that golf has its 2 superstars. Scottie Scheffler is as good as any golfer we have seen post-Tiger Woods, and Rory McIlroy has just won 2 consecutive Masters championships. So maybe this is not like Tiger Woods in 1999, or this isn't as dominant as Tiger Woods was back in 2002. But if you were just talking about, is there someone that would get you to tune into a golf tournament? Is there somebody that you would watch? Is there somebody's greatness that you would want to follow? It does appear to me that golf seems to have those 2 individuals. I mean, Scottie Scheffler was at even heading into the 3rd round of this golf tournament. He legitimately had a chance to win this thing yesterday if he putts a little better. Rory McIlroy, a guy who had never won at Augusta and a guy who went a decade without winning a Masters championship or winning a major championship, has now won 2 consecutive, and right now you could argue is the best golfer in the world. It feels like golf has its superstars to carry you in the here and now, and that the cycle, it took a little bit, but it looks like the cycle is continuing.
We always talk about with college basketball, one of the reasons it's not the same way it used to be is characters, heroes, and villains. Rory McIlroy, you could argue, is the hero of this era of golf because he has the wins, he has the success, he has the fame. He also he battled the Live Tour. He was not a fan. He was pretty outspoken about the fact he wasn't a fan. And now he's come out the other side as a champion and someone everyone can recognize. And he's still relatively young. I mean, he's 36, 37. Scottie Scheffler, who you mentioned, is 28, 29, 30. You think there are going to be some tournaments down the line where those guys are competing 1-2, which will only continue to raise both their superstar status. Golf may have found its Tiger and Phil for the 2020s. Like, not every era has that, but it looks like Scheffler versus Rory might be just that because they're still very much in their primes.
Yeah, for sure. And I would say, at least to me, like, I think there is a lot of similarities between Tiger Woods and Caitlin Clark. Like, part of the appeal of Caitlin Clark is she plays different than everybody else, and she also looks very different than everybody else. Some of the appeal of Tiger Woods is that he's black, and he is dominating in a sport in which there are not a lot of black people. And that's what got some people to tune in. Hey, I want to see if this guy can beat everybody else. I don't know if golf can replicate that, but I think if you were just talking about a lot of great golfers at the same time who are playing and very encouraging, very exciting, very competitive golf, I think the golf can have that. I don't know if women's basketball will ever be able to replicate the phenom that is Caitlin Clark. But if you were just talking about, hey, is women's basketball in a good place? Yeah, for sure. Like, look at the sport. Look at Asia Wilson. Look at Kelsey Plum. Look at all of these great players. I feel like there's actually a lot of similarities right now between the WNBA and women's basketball and where golf is now at this point. There are legitimate superstars in golf that are not Tiger Woods today. And if you want to see greatness and golf played at an incredibly high level, I mean, Rory McIlroy did something that nobody has done since Tiger Woods. He won at Augusta National in back-to-back. Only 4 golfers in the history of the sport accomplished what Rory just did. He is a legitimate A-list superstar right now based off his accomplishments these last 2 years at Augusta. Coming up in the 4 o'clock hour, we're going to get back to the NFL draft. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison and Rob Brenton.
You losers is what you are.
On your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Want a great way to boost your brand? Custom labels at Staples will help packages pop, shipments stand out, and takeout boxes really take off. Shop now through April 18th and save 30% on all custom labels. Staples, that was easy.
There's a new kind of energy at Starbucks. When your day needs a reset, try the all-new energy refreshers. Strawberry acai, mango dragon fruit, or the all-new mango strawberry. The refreshers you love, now with extra caffeine. New energy refreshers only at Starbucks.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens. No secret here. I am a golf guy, and I have to ask you if you're ready to ramp up the excitement because golf fans, BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bet even better with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Well, you ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with this bet, MGM's Second Chance promotion will get you your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only, Missouri only, subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please play responsibly.
Men, we all know how important sex is in a relationship, both for you and your partner. But erectile dysfunction ruins sex, which can often have serious impacts on your relationship as well. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, you understand the impacts it has on you and the one you love. But I'm here to tell you that ED is a treatable condition, and almost without exception, you can have really good sex again. At Heartland Men's Health, we're experts in treating ED. We've treated tens of thousands of men with protocols that are effective in well over 90% of cases, which means if you're like most guys, good sex will be the norm. You could even last up to an hour or more and bring a level of intimacy for you and your partner that might just astound you both. It's time to have really good sex again, so call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Doug. There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means playing in a football game. Boom! 42! You're going down, Doug! Oh, yeah? Your price on car insurance when you customize and save is going down. Hey! Limu? What are you doing on their team? Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
We've got a crash. Right lane is blocked if you're headed down towards Grandview, 49 southbound at Redbridge. Scoot to the left through here, and it is slow in the area, Kansas side of things. 435 northbound up at Parallel Parkway. Right lane is blocked there, and it is slow back on the curve. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
We have been to Kansas State. We have been to Kansas. Let's head to Missouri right now to be joined by Drew King with PowerMizzou.com to see how the Tigers are doing in the transfer portal. Drew, happy to have you on the show today, man. I really appreciate your time.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So let's start with this. I'm a little bit surprised that T.O. Barrett entered the portal. When Anthony Robinson entered the transfer portal, it made sense to me. He got sent to the bench. At that point, I was thinking, okay, T.O.'s going to be there. They got Jason Crow coming in. That's going to be their backcourt. I was surprised that T.O. Barrett entered the portal.
Yeah, I was surprised. I wasn't overly surprised about T.O. specifically entering the portal. You know, with Jason Crow coming in, he obviously wasn't going to have the ball in his hands as much. And there were obviously kind of some fit concerns with, you know, how that pairing would work out because T.O. Barrett isn't really that much of a shooter. But in a vacuum, like, I think that it was surprising that Mizzou saw both of Anthony Robinson and T.O. Barrett leave because on top of that, like, you also saw, you know, Jaden Stone graduate, and Sebastian Mack was kind of the most likely guy to leave through the transfer portal on the roster. So they've got zero returning production in the backcourt coming into next year. And so I figured, you know, based on how Dennis Gates has approached the offseason in the past, that he would kind of prioritize continuity and having veteran guys around. And so I thought he would probably hang on to one of Ant Robinson or T.O. Barrett, but it didn't turn out that way. So now they've got a lot of holes to fill heading into the transfer portal.
I'm sure you get asked 1,000 questions a day about Jason Crow. When you talk to scouts, when you talk to analysts, what kind of player do they think he can be at the college level?
That's a really good question. So there's obviously a lot to like with Jason Crow. He can score from everywhere on the floor. There isn't a shot that he hasn't made through his career. He obviously averaged, over 40 points a game this past season in his senior year. So I think that he's being looked at as a potential lottery pick, or at least a top, a first-round pick, and will be a one-and-done guy. There are definitely some concerns about, his size. He's kind of on the slim side, and, he hasn't really shown that he can be a high-level passer, but that was also just kind of because of who was on his high school team and kind of the talent level there. So when he gets to college, you obviously want to see him defend at a higher level. You want to see him be making plays. But what I've been told is he actually is a much better passer than he's gotten to show so far. And we've seen flashes of that in the McDonald's All-American game and the Nike Hoop Summit these past couple of weeks, where he's playing with that higher talent level. But he's looked really, really good at both of those showcase games. So I think there's a lot to be excited about.
We love a good NBA player comparison. Is there a player that you have heard his game compared to?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm trying to think. For me, it reminds me a lot of D'Angelo Russell at Ohio State. Mainly because he's a lefty like D'Lo is. But, yeah, somebody who can just really fill it out shooting the ball. I think that we're going to get to see him play off the ball and, see what happens when he can catch and shoot rather than shooting off the dribble a lot more. So D'Lo would probably be the one that I compare him to.
Right now, we're talking to Drew King with PowerMizzou.com. We're taking a trip at all three local schools to find out how they're doing in the transfer portal. How realistic is it that Bryson Tiller is going to transfer from Kansas to Missouri?
We'll see. Obviously, he took a visit that started on Sunday, and so I don't know if it's completed yet or not, but he was on campus this weekend. And obviously, Mizzou's got a really big need to replace the production in the front court with Mark Mitchell and Sean Phillips Jr. heading out. You still got Trent Pierce around, but you really need somebody who can come in and clean the glass for you, kind of like Sean Phillips did this season, help protect the paint. Bryson Tiller's really, really talented. I think that he's a really good player, and so it's just going to be on Missouri to kind of seal the deal with him.
Do you think that that's Missouri's number one target, Bryson Tiller?
No, I actually don't. I think he's definitely high up on the board, but I think the main guy that they are going after at the moment is Jameer Jones out of Providence. He's a wing who just came off his freshman season, averaged double-digit points in the Big East, grew into a starting role as conference play started. He was a top 50 recruit in this past year's class, and Mizzou offered him out of high school. I don't know that the recruitment got especially far, but he's from Florida. Dennis Gates obviously has a lot of connections there, but there's a pre-established relationship already. He's a very athletic wing. I think he would fit in really well with Trent Pierce in the front court. And then I think on top of that, Tim Fuller was also involved in his recruitment at Providence. So just a lot of ties to Jameer Jones and a lot of talent there. So I think that that's probably their number one guy at the moment.
What's your pick between regular mustard, honey mustard, and spicy mustard?
I'll be honest, I'm a really, really picky eater, and mustard is not on the list of sauces that I eat. If I had to go with one, I guess honey mustard, but I really don't know.
Drew, I love Gabe. I would consider Gabe to be a dear friend. I didn't hang up on you out of respect for Gabe for that answer you just gave. I almost hung up on you. My reflexes, I had to catch myself there. I would have said thank you for your time if not for that. That is Drew King joining us on the show today. He is with Power Mizzou. To update you in the transfer portal, Missouri is targeting former Kansas forward Bryson Tiller. Drew, great stuff, man. Happy to have you on the show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for not hanging up earlier.
No problem. That's Drew King for joining us on the show today. Rob, coming up at the top of the hour, can we have a little bit of fun here? I know there's a lot going on, but I want to get your answer, and I want you to think about it. The draft is coming up. Let's say that there was a condiment draft. All the condiments are available. I'm very intrigued to know what your number one overall pick would be. Give me your number one overall pick, and I also want to get one of your sleepers. We're not talking about it's going to go top 5, top 10, but you could potentially get some great value in the second round. So, Rob, I really want you to think of this. Text line, I want you to think of it, 913-586-7965. I want you to tell me what's the number one overall pick in a condiment draft, and I also want you to tell me what's the second round potential sleeper. I'll give you my answers next. We're also going to be joined by Trevor Sikma to talk about the actual NFL draft in the 4 o'clock hour as well. Keep it right here, it's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
We've got a crash. Right lane is blocked if you're headed down towards Grandview, 49 southbound at Red Bridge. Scoot to the left through here, and it is slow in the area, Kansas side of things. 435 northbound up at Parallel Parkway. Right lane is blocked there, and it is slow back on the curve. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5, The Fan.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. You can turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets for just getting started. And when every possession matters the way it does in the playoffs, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is making it even easier to get closer to the action, from your favorite player props to your future stars to all the tools you need to back them up. FanDuel puts player research right there at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all right there on the app, and you can make your picks with total confidence. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot as we are heading into the NBA playoffs. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. And remember, play your game with America's #1 sportsbook app and official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued and non-withdrawable bonus back. Sorry, Sundays on street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is your job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
This report is brought to you by Bet365.
winning is everything.
With Bet365 early payout, you win even if they lose. Get paid out instantly when your team goes up big, even if they blow the lead later. Bet365. Winning is everything. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Missouri.
Forget what you think being a cop is. In Leavenworth, we're not robotic. No egos. Just real people doing real work and loving it. You'll have a front row seat to action you can't script. And you'll do it with the latest high-tech tools in modern policing and technology that helps you do the job smarter and safer. It's real. It's not for everyone, but if you want in, come apply.
Leavenworth PD. We're different on purpose. Got questions? Give Sergeant Flynn a call and apply now at leavenworthks.gov/police. That's leavenworthks.gov/police.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase, 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
With 2 kids in 4 sports, sometimes we don't even have time to eat, and that means sometimes we can't get to the store. That's when Hy-Vee saves the day. We love ordering our groceries online and having them delivered. It saves us so much time, and it's easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All I have to do is pick up my order or have it delivered to my home, which is free, by the way, with my Perks Plus membership. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Wouldn't you like to take a vacation from your bills? Well, you can. With credit card balances at an all-time high and Golden Oak's 4.5% rate, you could be saving thousands of dollars after a simple phone call. Call today and get your cash in as little as 14 days and make no payments for 2 months. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.442 APR, FHA 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit, additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Royals coverage is brought to you by the Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill. Game day starts here.
Patio season is back, Kansas City. Soak up the sun with a cold one at the Brooksider. Then stick around for every game on every screen. It's the perfect play all season long. Brooksider Sports Bar and Grill. Game day starts here.
Hey Royals fans, it's Seth Lugo. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
I'm going to add a disclaimer. The Royals are under 500, and they just split a 4-game series with the Chicago White Sox. The Chiefs have the exact same 2 picks that they've had for maybe the last, 50 days or so. I know the Talk Sports crowd is going to come. And trust me, we have a 20-minute conversation with a draft expert coming up in about 10 minutes. Let us have a little bit of fun, can we not? Congratulations to Rory. Ruben Bane was in a serious car accident. We've learned 2 years ago. Give us a little bit of time, all right? We'll get back to the serious stuff. Rob, this is pressing. The draft is coming up. I want to know from you, if all the condiments were available in a condiment draft, what would your number 1 overall pick be? You are the Las Vegas Raiders, and you have the number 1 overall pick. Now, let me tell you why I'm going to select the one that I'm going to pick. Because I think in order to make the number 1 overall pick, it has to have a measure of versatility. Like, I love Chick-fil-A sauce, for example, an incredible condiment, but I only eat it at one place. I don't put Chick-fil-A sauce on anything else. I don't mix it with anything else, but that Chick-fil-A sauce with those fries and the chicken sandwich, delicious, but it doesn't have the versatility that I would need for the number 1 overall pick. So I'm thinking of what's something that's incredible, but also offers up the versatility that I can eat it in a lot of different situations and really get bang for my buck. Because I'm looking to sign in this condiment to a second contract. I want to get a 10-year lifespan out of it. Louisiana hot sauce. Louisiana hot sauce is all purpose. It gives you the right amount of kick without being too hot. You can put it on so many different things. You want to put it on chicken. You want to put it on fish. You want to put it on your eggs, whatever it is. If you just need to get a little bit of a kick, I think Louisiana does it. Sriracha's a little bit too hot for me. Cholula, a little bit too hot for me. But I want a little bit of kick. I want to add a little bit of flavor to what I'm eating. Louisiana hot sauce, undefeated. I would take Louisiana with the #1 overall pick.
First off, I prefer Cholula to Louisiana, but I think your process was good. I would not take a hot sauce #1 overall. If I was the Las Vegas Raiders on the condiment draft, your process was good. I need versatility. I need something that if I'm going to have really any style of food, I feel like I'm okay here.
For sure.
Which is why I'm taking ranch.
I'm not mad at ranch.
Ranch is a great #1 overall pick. I can put it on a pizza, and I'm okay. I can put it with chicken strips, and I'm okay. I can dip my fries in it. I can have it on a salad. It can do a little bit of everything. Is it the perfect condiment? No, but it does have a great versatility, and it's a pick you make. And Mel Kiper's like, it's a high floor, low ceiling pick, but it's very smart with the #1 overall. That's what you do at first overall. You take ranch.
Are you a ranch and pizza guy?
100% I am. 100%.
I think that ranch could quite possibly be a Two Americas thing. I'm not saying that we don't use ranch. I'm saying you probably give ranch a little bit more of a responsibility than I would give ranch. I'm not putting ranch with the pizza.
Not every pizza. There are definitely pizzas like if I'm at my Pizza Tasio, that's quality. I don't want to. You're
not putting the ranch with it.
But if I'm getting a Pizza Hut or a Papa John's, you better bring me some ranch. I need to slide that bad boy.
Okay, all right. Now, I want to hear what your sleeper is. Now, I'm throwing this out there because to me, this is a condiment that really shows ball. Miracle Whip. I love Miracle Whip.
You're a Miracle Whip over mayonnaise person?
I am. I like the fact that it has that little sweetness to it, that little bit of tang that mayonnaise doesn't have, but it also gives you the same texture. So if I'm eating a sandwich and you're telling me that Miracle Whip is an option, oh, absolutely. Please give me a little bit of the Miracle Whip. Big fan. I'm not arguing that Miracle Whip is a top 10 condiment because there's plenty of other condiments I could go over there. I like honey mustard more. I like spicy mustard more. Ranch. There's definitely a lot of things I would take over. But if you're telling me that I got the 29th overall pick, I'm in the back half of the first round, I'm where the Denver Broncos are taking Miracle Whip. Yes, absolute sleeper for me. I'm getting great quality from where I'm selecting if I get Miracle Whip. That's my sleeper.
Oh, my God. It's not even better than Hellman's. Like Duke's Mayo. Get real
I'd much
mayonnaise.
rather have Miracle Whip than have Duke's Mayo.
Oh, no. It's not even, is it technically mayonnaise? It's its own little weird entity.
I know. That's how good it is. That's its versatility that it has.
I can't believe you prefaced by saying you picked this one because you know ball.
You gotta know ball.
Said Miracle
you gotta know
Whip.
ball to pick Miracle Whip. That's what I'm saying. I'm reading the text line right now. A lot of people, what are you talking about? You don't know ball if you don't know Miracle Whip. That's how I know you ain't really been in the sandwich game long enough if you don't know what I'm talking about with Miracle Whip. Fantastic.
Okay. Let me tell you what my sleeper is here. Nacho cheese. I can have that with chips. I can have that with a hot dog, and I'm all right. Like, nacho cheese.
Feels like it's been in the rules a little bit on what a condiment is.
Is it available at Quick Trip? Yes.
Okay.
That's what my barometer was. If I'm going to Quick Trip,
I just didn't know we were putting nacho cheese and soy sauce in the same category. I didn't know.
Those are two things available at the stand at Quick Trip. That's how I judged it.
I just didn't know that we were putting nacho cheese and sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's. I didn't know that they were going into the same category of things.
If I ask for a condiment at Taco Bell, you know what I'm getting? They're getting the nacho cheese. It's available. It's there.
Okay, I didn't know.
If you want a different one, honey. Honey's also a dark horse.
No, honey's good. Honey also would not be a top 10 pick.
No, but
I think if you got honey with the 17th overall pick, you feel good about what you got. You do feel good about it.
Honey has a little bit of versatility too. I'm a honey on pizza person as well. Again, pizza dependent. Also, most breakfast stuff is improved with honey. Honey is a more versatile sleeper if you're not going to accept my nacho cheese option.
Yeah, the text line is asking a question. So would you count chili as a condiment? Yeah, I think the nacho cheese is bending the rules a little bit on what a traditional condiment is in this sense. We're talking about something that you would consider to be a sauce. You know, a sauce. Freddy's fries sauce.
But then
Big Mac sauce. But then nacho cheese?
Isn't that honey mustard? Honey mustard is a sauce.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Is horseradish count then? Like there's lots
horseradish absolutely is a condiment for sure.
then I will retract and say honey is my dark horse.
Okay. I mean, if you want to count it, text line 913, we can ask this. Text line 913-586-7965. If you would count nacho cheese as a condiment here, because I would have to go to the board. It's not that surprising to me that somebody that cheers for Kansas, the rules seem very straightforward, and now you're trying to bend the rules and apply for a waiver. That's all you guys do over there is apply. I followed the rules.
Don't you have 37-year-old Jacob Cruz on your
side? Out of here. Don't try to bring him on us. Don't try to give us him.
He applied for AARP and applied to play at Missouri next year. That's the thing that happened.
Don't try to give us none of that. Please don't do that. Someone says, would you consider barbecue sauce to be a top 5 condiment? I absolutely would.
Yes.
I would consider barbecue sauce to be a top 5 condiment. Just a lot of versatility. You can put that on your wings.
Mm-hmm. Very high ceiling.
For sure, 100%. No, absolutely. Barbecue sauce absolutely would count as a condiment, a sleeper. I don't think it's the number 1 overall pick, but I think it absolutely is worthy of being a top 5.
Barbecue sauce definitely top 5. I think it could be number 1 overall if you were very specific about your type. Because barbecue sauce, and maybe this is our Kansas City snobbery showing up, there's a high variance of quality. Like, I don't like the McDonald's barbecue sauce when I go to McDonald's.
Yeah, that's why when some people were sending, like, barbecue sauce, I was just replying back, like, what brand would you classify? Because I think there's a difference. Like, there is a difference to me in getting Sweet Baby Ray's and you getting Gates barbecue sauce. I don't really have much interest in putting the Sweet Baby Ray's sauce on my food. I do have interest in putting the Gates barbecue sauce on my food. There's this one KC Masterpiece flavor, hickory kind. I'm a big fan of the hickory KC Masterpiece. So what kind of barbecue sauce, because you're right, just where we are, every barbecue sauce is different. Oklahoma Joe's and Arthur Bryant's both have barbecue sauce. They are not the same kind of barbecue sauce.
1000%. And it's not like if you go to pick a restaurant, generic bar for, watch the game with friends, you ask for barbecue sauce, they're not going to be like, can I have the Gates sauce? They're not going to give you that in the back. So it's just high variance pick.
Someone on the text line, so we have 2 different people. C-Dot, nacho cheese counts. Somebody else says nacho cheese is a dip, not a condiment. Dips are their own category. Would you consider guacamole to be a condiment? Because I would consider that in the same category as what nacho cheese is. Something you could put on top of your food or dip into it. I just would not consider that a condiment in the same way that I would consider sriracha to be a condiment.
Guacamole is a weird one because I could see.
That's what I'm saying. I would consider that to be in the exact same thing. To me, nacho cheese and A1 are not in the same category, so I just wouldn't put them both under condiment. I think that's a fair way of putting it. I would consider nacho cheese to be a dip in that way. Somebody said, "C-Dot, I'm with you on Miracle Whip." I put that on my BLTs. Absolutely. That puts it over the top. A BLT is already a championship level, but this is like adding that's like adding Kevin Durant to Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. And now you go over the top, and now you're about to be a dynasty. Yes, that's what Miracle Whip does. It puts it over the top. Someone mentioned the McDonald's sweet and sour sauce. I do actually really like the sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's. You get those nuggets, and they ask you what kind of sauce you want. Yeah, sign me up. Sign me up for the McDonald's sweet and sour sauce.
McDonald's sweet and sour is good. Their barbecue's bad. I like their honey mustard, too. Again, not a top 5 pick, but honey mustard also is a solid condiment, at least at McDonald's.
Text line 913-586-7965. We were having a little bit of fun. If you were the Las Vegas Raiders and you were at a condiment draft, what would be the number 1 overall pick? I said Louisiana hot sauce. I just think the versatility that you get with Louisiana hot sauce, it's all purpose. It could just do so many different things. I like it as the number 1 overall pick. And my sleeper was Miracle Whip. I'm not saying it's a top 5, top 10, but you're telling me if I got the 19th overall pick, Miracle Whip, I think is a very, very strong suggestion, and I'm very happy with it. Rob, what was your number 1 overall pick? You went with Hidden Valley Ranch?
I went with Ranch at number 1 overall, and then because you got all weird about me picking
I wasn't getting weird. I just want the rules followed.
I then followed the rules, and I said honey was my sleeper pick.
Are you a honey on pizza guy?
Sometimes, but yes, I could do it. I prefer ranch to honey, but honey on pizza is not bad.
Honey on pizza only really works if you're out and about and getting a slice. Like, I don't know if I'm at home. Like, let's say I come over to your house and we're watching the game and then we have pizza. I'm like, oh, do you have honey to put on it? I don't think it really works there. But if we're out and about, and we're walking around, and we go get a slice of pizza, we're at Pizza Bar. Yeah, I think honey then works. It's a very nice combination. Put me a little honey on there, a little bit of that Parmesan cheese, and those red peppers. Oh, this is a good slice of pizza. So yeah, no, honey, a very, very good pick. All right, coming up on the other side, we will regain order on the show. We're going to head to the phone lines and be joined by Trevor Sikma, who covers the NFL draft. A lot of stuff to talk about in the draft. We'll get to it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Your off-season home for everything Chiefs football.
Talking about the top story, the Chiefs, they have a new offensive coordinator.
96.5, The Fan.
You're always better with the roof from JR.
Here they come. A baseball-sized hailstorm means every roofer for 500 miles is on his way here to ring your doorbell. Before that happens, go online to jrstormcheck.com and relax. JR & Company is locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. JR & Company offers a lifetime warranty on workmanship. But best of all, JR & Company offers a free Class 4 shingle upgrade. What does that mean? Most insurance companies offer premium discounts on Class 4 shingles. Remember, no roofer can legally offer to pay your deductible, but a free shingle upgrade can reduce premiums for years to come. Why do we do this? Because we can. A lifetime workmanship warranty and free shingle upgrade. It's why we say...
Always better with the roof from JR.
Just visit jrstormcheck.com.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Bryant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Viant.ai.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums, with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and is 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you're a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive, call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone. 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
When Bill Lambert started Midwest Heating, he realized something very quickly. The most important thing a customer can give you isn't their money, it's their trust. I'm Airman for Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Midwest and Lennox are now offering up to $1,400 rebates on high-efficiency home comfort systems and 0% 60-month financing with approved credit on these qualifying Lennox systems. Every day, we strive to meet the highest standards in the industry, yours. But we are human. If we make a rare mistake, we make it right, and right away. That's what Bill instilled in all of us. Now, the third generation stands on the shoulders of the past, improves on it, and passes it on to the next. Give us the chance to earn your business. Just dial 943-8787 or go to MidwestHeating.com. Trust your air to the best. Midwest Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what?
Also, objection. You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Some days, self-care starts with Nature-Made gummy vitamins, a deep breath, and a little encouragement.
Mom, I'm really nervous.
Me too, honey, but we've got this. Repeat after me. I'm gonna have a good day.
I'm going to have a good day.
I choose joy no matter what comes my way.
I bring joy wherever I go.
Quality gummy vitamins from Nature-Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Trading the jacket for flip-flops? Start your sun-soaked getaway stress-free with Park & Go. All covered parking keeps your car cool and protected while you're catching rays. Quick shuttle straight to the terminal. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, family-owned, customer approved.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
The countdown to the World Soccer Championship is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Kansas City. From here, for wherever you are, that's the benefit of blue. Visit bluekc.com/benefit of blue for more information. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
North KC, the crash, now 3 right lanes are blocked. Big backups in the area. 35 northbound, the crash is just before Parvin. Yep, you've got 1 left lane to deal with. And then we've got multi-car crash now, 470 eastbound, just before Raytown. Left lane is blocked. And crash 435 northbound, just past 95th, right lane blocked there. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's George Karlaftis from the Kansas City Chiefs. Welcome to The Drive with CDOT on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
All right, coming up in a little bit, there's a story I want to talk about. Shout out to my guys from the Ain't No Seats podcast, Braden, all of them. I love you guys. They were entertaining a question a couple of days ago. So if you guys remember, last year, Kansas went to Louisville for an exhibition game. This year, Louisville is coming to Kansas for an exhibition game. Why does that matter? Well, Flory transferred to Louisville, so Flory will be playing a game at Allen Fieldhouse as a visitor. The question was thrown out, how are fans going to respond to Flory when he appears in another team's uniform at Allen Fieldhouse? We will give our answer coming up in a bit, but let's talk a little bit of NFL draft. Our draft coverage here on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by the good people over at Blue Cross and Blue Shields of Kansas City. From here, from everywhere you are, that's the benefit of blue. We got the chance to catch up with Trevor Sikma, and we got a chance to ask him this question to kick things off. Where is this draft the strongest? Where is this draft the weakest?
When I think of the strengths of the class, I think wide receiver every year. Wide receiver feels like it's strong. It's not it's not a Julio Jones or a Calvin Johnson or something like that. But I feel like you can get a difference-making wide receiver basically every single round of the draft. That's how it feels these days, with wide receiver being super deep. I think tight end is super deep as well. Again, I think you talk about Kenyon Sadiq being at the top of the list for tight ends, but even beyond him, I think there's a lot of tight ends to be able to choose from. Edge rushers very deep, linebacker, safety. I think both of those positions are very deep as well. I think it's thinner at difference-making corners, outside of the guys who are in the top, I would say, top 40. Outside of those guys, I think it might kind of drop off for corners. Defensive tackle, I think it's a little disappointing relative to other years. And then quarterback, right? I mean, quarterback, I think, is the position that everybody wants to talk about the most, and there's just not a lot of intrigue. There's just not a lot of quarterbacks outside of Fernando Mendoza and certainly just some interesting debates with Ty Simpson that kind of get the people going. So that's sort of where I would feel that the draft is best and worst.
So the Chiefs have 2 first-round picks. We'll kind of break them down individually. But before we get there, I want to get your thoughts on Ruben Bane. It seems to me like most people who follow the NFL and cover the draft, it seems like they knew about this story that just came out this weekend. Is that true?
Yeah, it seems like NFL teams certainly did. I mean, the public is just really getting to know about it now. I had heard rumblings of there was something with Ruben Bane that would probably come out, and I had heard this, a couple of weeks ago. So I knew that there was something, but it feels like teams have known about it for a long time. I mean, it's an incident that happen in 2024. Not to downplay the severity and the tragicness of it, but it does feel as though NFL teams have been aware about this for a long time. So I don't necessarily see this as, like a Laramie Tunsil thing, right, where something comes out right the day of the draft and all of a sudden he falls because people are trying to get information last second on it. It doesn't feel like that's one of these cases. It feels like NFL teams have really sort of dug into and vetted a lot of this.
Am I crazy for thinking that this had to come from a team that would want him to fall in the draft? For example, I don't really know how this benefits Arizona for this information to get out there, or Tennessee. They're picking 3rd and 4th. But to me, this feels like a team that is at the 11 to 12 range that's worried about Bane not being there. You poison the water, so to speak, and he falls in the draft. That's my theory, at least.
I mean, maybe there could be something like that at play. I'll never sort of downplay the drama that is the NFL, but it's also a matter of, you spend enough time in this business. People like to talk, right? Like people love to be the person who knows something and, tell somebody that you know something that other people don't. And so I wonder if it was just kind of a game of, weeks and months go by and there's just enough people that like to play that game, that like to say that they know something, and finally it gets to the point where it breaks out into the media world. So who knows? Maybe it is something that's intentional, but I think that this information was always going to get out one way or the other.
Right now, we're talking to Trevor Sikma. He is the co-host of the NFL Stock Exchange podcast, which covers the NFL draft. Let's focus in more on Bane as a prospect. A lot has been made about his arm length. How do you feel about Bane as a prospect?
He's a top 3 player for me. I think that just the way that he plays, the versatility that he has, elite run defender, elite pass rusher. I mean, this is somebody who, to me, is very scheme versatile. I think that we use that word and that label a lot. If we just go, oh, this guy can do a lot of different things, he's very scheme versatile, and it's not always the case. But for Bane, I think it is, even with his shorter arms. I think he's got the first step explosiveness. I think he's got the strength, the leverage, the hands, the pass rush moves, the counters, all that good stuff to be able to play from a 2-point and a 3-point stance. So I just feel as though the level of physicality that he plays with is so coveted in today's game. I mean, I think over the last 10 years, the game of football has just been getting smaller and faster. And when you find these players that not only have that speed, but also that power, those are the players that you often gravitate towards. So I'm a big fan of his game. I was very impressed with him throughout this entire season. I think he's a top 3 player in the class.
The arm strength seems to be an issue for so many draft pundits. Why is it not an issue for you?
Well, I think it's not that it's not an issue at all. I think that the arm length is something that is worth talking about. But Bane doesn't win with length, right? I mean, it would be different if he was winning in college with long arm moves and full extension, like bull rushes and things like that. And it's just, that's not really where he's winning. He's winning a lot with fast and powerful hands and club moves and rip moves and things like that. So the way that he is winning in college is translatable to the NFL, even with shorter arms. And heck, I'd tell you that, man, he likes to use leverage as a big-time counter for him to get off of blocks. That's even easier when you have shorter arms, especially when you're built the way that he is built. So it's not to say that I don't think the arm length is an issue at all, but I just think that he mitigates it very, very well, and there's just so much more to like about his game than to dislike.
I have the belief that if you want Ruben Bane, if you're looking at it through Kansas City's eyes, you are going to have to move up to maybe that 6 or 7 range. Do you believe that's true, or do you think there's a chance that Bane falls to Kansas City at 9?
Yeah, I mean, especially, with the news coming out, I think there's a world where he does last until number 9. Now, I think the 2 biggest threats that you have there to him lasting is that 7th and 8th pick. I mean, it is the Washington Commanders or the New Orleans Saints. I think both of those teams would absolutely love to get him, as long as obviously everything checks out and they're all good with everything that has to do with drafting him and his scouting profile. So if they're okay with that, those are actually the 2 threats. But I don't think it's impossible. I think it's a lower chance, certainly, with those teams sitting in front of you, but I don't think it's impossible at all to say that he would get to number 9.
Right now, we're talking to Trevor Sikma. He covers the NFL draft. Be sure to check out his podcast, the NFL Stock Exchange, as we are less than 2 weeks away from the draft. I'm interested in a defensive lineman and a pass rusher at number 9. I'm also very interested at wide receiver. Let's start here. Do you think Carnell Tate would be available at number 9 for Kansas City?
I think there's a chance. Like, I don't think it's this massive foregone conclusion that he won't get to 9. I mean, I just don't think that he's that caliber of a player. And that's not to say that he's not a good player. I think that he'd be a great addition for. I could see him as a fit for the New York Giants at 5, the Cleveland Browns at 6, the Washington Commanders at 7, even the New Orleans Saints. Like, he could be a fit for all of those teams. But like I said, sort of at the top of this interview, he's not a Julio Jones type of a player. Like, it's not like, oh, there's no chance he would get to number 9. I think there's a world where he absolutely could. And to me, he's the receiver that you would want. Like, I know Jordan Tyson kind of does it all, and I love Tyson as well, like, even independent of the injury history stuff. But for what I think the Kansas City Chiefs really need in their offense is a true, reliable, vertical threat, contested catch, deep down the field type of wide receiver. I mean, that's Carnell Tate to a T. He's somebody who can block for you in the run game when you want to run outside zone. This is the wide receiver that Kansas City is missing. So, no, I don't think it's impossible for them to get to him at number 9. And if he gets there, he's the top wide receiver on their board, in my opinion.
Let's dive into this a little bit more, and let's handicap the wide receiver room. I think many people believe that Carnell Tate is the best wide receiver. Let's focus in a little bit more on Jordan Tyson. You mentioned his injury history, which I think is going to scare some teams off. You also have Mekhi Lemon, who I imagine is going to go somewhere in that top 12 to 15 as well.
I think all 3 of these receivers are difference-making NFL receivers, and I think they're all each a little bit different. Tate, I think, is more of that vertical stretching player who can play as an X or as a Z wide receiver on the outside. He can win for you at the catch point, 20, 25, 30 yards down the field, however far you can throw the ball, which for Patrick Mahomes, it's a long way. You feel pretty confident throwing it up there and allowing him to go up and get it. His catch percentage this year was fantastic. His catch percentage through contact was fantastic. It was 85%. It's been above 50% his entire career. Tyson, he's more of that move receiver. He's more of that Z receiver who you don't want him to be on the line of scrimmage against press too often. You want him to have a little bit of space between him and the corner because the ability to create separation by putting his foot in the ground and really turning and changing direction, I mean, that stuff is rare. I mean, he's a very good like intermediate route runner because of all that body control. And when you look at the contested catches, I mean, he's got some good ones there, but it's just the spectacular catches as well. I mean, he's fantastic. And then Mekhi Lemon's more of like a slot mostly type of a player for me, but he's one who he's got a lot of dog in him. I love that playmaker mentality. He can put his foot in the ground and really create that separation there himself. He wins in the subtleties of the game, whether it's, the head fakes, the shoulder fakes. Okay, it looks like I'm going one way and now I'm going the other. He is great at the catch point as well. Very, very competitive football player. All 3 of these guys are different types of wide receivers, but if I had to rank them for Kansas City specifically, I think I would probably say the Carnell Tate should be their number 1. I think Jordan Tyson maybe their number 2, and then Mekhi Lemon probably that wide receiver 3 for them.
Let's go through some of the other possibilities for Kansas City at 9. Chiefs fans hate the idea of them drafting an offensive tackle at the 9th overall pick. I don't hate the idea, and that's largely stemming from the fact of uncertainty around Jalen Moore and also uncertainty for the future, and the Chiefs don't have a 2027 plan and beyond for right tackle either.
Yeah, I mean, I could see offensive tackle being on the board for them there. I don't think they'll go that direction. I think it's much more likely that they wait until 29, or you get in a situation where you could trade up a little bit from 29 and get an offensive tackle that's falling a little bit. To me, that makes a little bit more sense and would probably give you a better 30,000-foot view of what could the draft haul be for them. So I am not nearly as opposed to offensive tackle at 9 than it seems like Chiefs fans are when I've done like mock drafts and things like that and just gone back and forth with some people who cover the team. But I do like it as an option for them a little bit later in the draft as opposed to at number 9.
Where do you think the best value is? Because just from listening to Chiefs fans and talking to them every day, I also don't think they're in favor of the Chiefs moving up from 29 to, let's say, 21, mortgaging other picks that you could use on players and moving up in the draft to get it. Like, where do you think the best value for right tackle is?
I think it's probably somewhere in that, like, mid-first round to somewhere in the 20. Like, honestly, picks 15 to 25 feels like a really nice value for an offensive tackle that you feel pretty good about. And there's a lot of offensive tackles that could go in that range. Francis Malinois, Spencer Fano, Blake Miller, Max Ionicher, Caleb Lomu, Monroe Freeling, right? There's so many guys I think that you could convince yourself of that could be picked there in that range. that's why I think it's a numbers game at that point. I mean, I must have listed 6 or 7 offensive tackles just right there that could go in a range of anywhere from 10 to 12 picks. So to me, that's really where we start having that value conversation. If there's a way where either you're trading down from number 9 or maybe you're trading up from 29, whatever that looks like, that to me is the sweet spot for offensive tackle in this class.
Right now, we're talking to Trevor Sikma for a few more minutes here. He covers the NFL draft. Be sure to check out his podcast, NFL Stock Exchange. Mansour Delane is a name that has popped up at number 9. Is that a possibility for Kansas City to go corner in that spot?
I think so. I mean, he's talented enough to where you certainly think about it around that range. I think it's interesting, just he's got shorter arms and nobody's really talking about it. Like, there's just not a lot of shorter-armed corners that go that high, but I think the tape shows you that he mitigates that pretty dang well. He can play press coverage because of his feet, his quickness, his recovery speed. He's got good ball skills to him as well. It's just are you a stickler for the measurables a little bit? Do they consider him there? Do they knock that down a little bit? Do they look at a guy like Trevon McCoy from Tennessee instead because he's got a little bit longer arms, he's a little bit bigger, he's somebody who plays a little bit stronger, can play those press man coverage type of roles. But I think McCoy is built a little bit more like the corners that Kansas City has drafted in the past. But Delane, I think talent-wise, yeah, I think that range makes sense for him. It's just a matter of, does the arm length bug you at all because he's got a little bit shorter of arms? Or do you just sit there and you say, no, he's just too good of an athlete. I'm going to trust the tape. He plays really well. He's put out good tape, especially over the last year at LSU, and you're okay with that. Because if that's the case, then I could certainly see him playing a little bit of that inside-out role like Trent McDuffie did for him.
One player that I want to get your thoughts on before we get out of here is Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end out of Oregon. I'm struggling with this. I am hearing so much about the physicals, hearing so much about just what a physical specimen he is, but then I look at his numbers and I'm just not very unimpressed. How could a guy with that physical traits in college on a good team with so many other options, how could his numbers come off just so pedestrian? It's confusing to me.
I think there are, for people that really want to believe in Kenyon Sadiq, I think there are reasons for that. I think the offense overall is generally swayed much more towards wide receivers being the ones who eat in that passing attack. And, the previous year, last year, he was only a true sophomore, and he played behind Terrence Ferguson, who ended up being a second-round pick, so he's no scrub there. But, yeah, I mean, you would have liked for him to get a little bit more involved in the offense. I think he played a lot more on the line of scrimmage than we thought that he was going to. They used him as a blocker more than we thought they were going to. And, look, I think that he's a competitive blocker, and he's a nice pound-for-pound strength type of a blocker, but he's also not the kind of tight end that you're going to want to put on the line of scrimmage to play against defensive ends in the NFL. He just doesn't have that arm length and that overall build to him. So you're going to be drafting him to be much more of a receiving tight end, and with that being the case, I think you would have liked to see, I certainly would have liked to see more production from him, but that's not to say that he can't be a great player at the NFL. He's just going to have to go to the right spot, have some good development, and the team's really just going to have to lean on him, certainly more than Oregon did.
If it was the Condiment draft, what would be your number 1 overall pick?
Oh, man. So you're saying, like, what is my go-to condiment? Is that what you're saying? I'm going to I might ruffle some feathers here, but ranch, baby. I'm a ranch guy. Give me ranch on the wings, the tenders, the fries. I'm a ranch dude. So give me the ranch and hot sauce combination has powered me my entire life. I can't turn my back on it now. That's the 1-1 condiment for me.
Trevor Sikma joining us on the show. Be sure to check out his podcast, the NFL Stock Exchange, covering the NFL draft. Trevor, great stuff, man. We'll catch up with you once all the dust settles.
I appreciate it, brother. Anytime.
Absolutely. That is Trevor Sikma joining us on the show. Rob, I made a list, and you know us sports talk radio guys, we love a list. So this is what I made. This is at 9. I don't want you to, what about, this is only for the 9th overall pick. I would love if they drafted a wide receiver or a defensive end. I would like if they drafted a corner. I wouldn't hate if they drafted an offensive tackle or a safety. Now, there are some player-specific things, but I think this encompasses all of it. I would love a wide receiver and a DN. I would like a corner. I would not hate if they drafted a tackle or a safety. How are you feeling as we are 9-10 days away from round 1? Like, we're going to have our answer soon enough on what they're going to do with the 9th overall pick.
I think that's a pretty strong list. I think running back would be in the hate. This is for, I think, fans, not me, although that would also be a hate for me. I think wide receiver would be a like for Chiefs fans, maybe a love. I think edge would be a love. I think fan sentiment at right tackle would be dislike. I don't think it would be neutral. I think corner would actually be neutral. I think fans, because they don't pay corners, would be like, oh, that's nice, but there's no future for him long term. I think for the Chiefs to hit a home run, they're going to have to draft, or for the fans to perceive what the Chiefs do to be a home run, it has to be wide receiver or edge. Because, like, if they take Monsieur Delane from LSU, do you think fans are going to be elated with that pick, or do you think they're going to think, hey, it's a good player, we're happy, but his future is just only so long in Kansas City?
This is where I don't think you're being fair here, because I know you, Rob. I think the only home run then is Ruben Bane. Because I'm just going off you.
Trading up and getting Bailey or
for sure. I'm saying is at 9, I'm with you. If they move up to 7, that changes the conversation. At 9, I think the only home run then is Ruben Bane then. Because I know you, Rob.
Cardinal Tate's a home run.
Tate will not be there. If they took Jordan Tyson with the 9th overall pick, you would not be excited that day coming in here. I know you. We've been doing this for way too long. I can almost mimic your voice in exactly how you're going to do. You're going to point to his injury history, and you're going to point to there were safer options out there. Or if you look at Mekhi Lemon, you will point to he's basically had 1 season of college football production. There's only 1 home run then if we were talking at the 9th overall pick. There's only one, as Ruben Bane, for most people. Now, I'm not in that category. I think there's other very good selections that they can make. I also don't think that Bane is a home run with the 9th overall pick. But I do think that Chiefs fans have lathered themselves up in a frenzy about defensive line, and Bane is the person that we want. Our draft guests for the next couple of weeks are brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shields of Kansas City. From here, from everywhere you are, that is the benefit of Blue. Coming up on the other side, Flory is going to return to Allen Fieldhouse in a visitor uniform. Kansas fans want to know how should they handle it. There's only one thing to do. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Right now, new FanDuel customers can bet just $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. That's right. You can turn $5 into $250 in bonus bets for just getting started. And when every possession matters the way it does in the playoffs, FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, is making it even easier to get closer to the action, from your favorite player props to your future stars to all the tools you need to back them up. FanDuel puts player research right there at your fingertips. You can check stats, trends, and matchups all right there on the app, and you can make your picks with total confidence. It's everything you need all in one app, so don't miss your shot as we are heading into the NBA playoffs. Head to FanDuel.com/local to get started. And remember, play your game with America's #1 sportsbook app and official sportsbook of 96.5 The Fan. 21 and present in Missouri. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued to non-withdrawable bonus bet. Sorry, Sundays on street restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Make it legendary. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Pro basketball futures market to win the championship, and OKC, the defending champ, is the favorite at +135, followed by San Antonio at +450, Boston at +550, and Denver at 10-1. And I like OKC to win another championship. I love the way the Western Conference playoff bracket's set up for OKC. OKC's only going to have to play one of San Antonio or Denver on the way to the championship round, and I will like OKC against whoever comes out of the East. OKC plus 135 to win this year's championship. That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app today. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please gamble responsibly.
Hello, Kansas City. Bank of America, in partnership with Visa, invites you to a FIFA World Cup 26 watch party. Open an eligible Bank of America checking account in participating financial centers only for an opportunity to reserve 2 complimentary tickets while supplies last. Experience special musical guests, games, giveaways, food, and more, all at a legendary venue. Learn more at BofA.com/BofA Visa Watch Party. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 26. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC. Terms apply. All rights reserved.
Hi, I'm Jacob, your friend and an actual jeweler at Chain Company. I'm proud to work for a family business that's been committed to the highest quality standards for nearly 100 years. Your dream engagement ring is designed for quality every step of the way. We set your diamond by hand, never with machines. Prong tips are beautiful and secure, and intricate details are thoughtfully crafted. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship, because a friend knows true love deserves the highest quality. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
You know that weird smell your AC makes when you turn it on? Ooh, you really shouldn't. Luckily, you can just take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Save $10 on a pair of Bosch Focus wiper blades. Our professional parts people will even install them for free at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For 75 years, Kansas City families have trusted Anthony for comfort, safety, and dependable service. Thank you for trusting us with your house keys. Anthony, in your home for 75 years.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Multi-car crash now up at 635 northbound, just before K5 south. 2 left lanes are blocked. We've also got the crash in North KC, 35 northbound, before Parvin. It is in the clearing stages. Big backups in a few minutes to unwind. Multi-car crash still working, 470 eastbound down at Raytown Road. Right lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
All right, so we were just debating this. I think as we are less than 10 days away from the NFL draft and the 9th overall pick, I think there are only 2 selections with the 9th overall pick that Chiefs Kingdom will love. I think those picks are Carnell Tate and Ruben Bane Jr. I don't think that Carnell Tate is going to be there with the 9th overall pick. Now, I guess I should clarify this. This does not count them trading up to go get somebody. I'm talking about they're at 9. If they trade up, I think they're going to get somebody they love if they move up. I think it's Carnell Tate and Ruben Bane. Someone then sent this in and said, come on now, C-Dot. If Jeremiah Love was there, fans would love it. Absolutely not. Maybe some fans would. There is not a world in which you are going to hear me come on here on the day after, and the Chiefs have committed, if you add the guaranteed money that the 9th overall pick is and the guaranteed money that they will have committed to Kenneth Walker, they have committed $56 million guaranteed to running backs. That is not a good selection to me to go get Jeremiah Love. It's not a good selection at all, in fact. If Jeremiah Love is still on the board at 9 and the Chiefs are not actively trying to trade back, they're doing something wrong in my mind. But I also don't think he's going to be there. So he says, come on now. If Love was there, fans would love it. They also would love wide receiver because Pat needs some help. I'm not sure they would love wide receiver if it's not Carnell Tate. I just Googled Jordan Tyson. I want to read to you this. You know, at the very top now on Yahoo and Google, they have the little AI overview. You know what I'm talking about, Rob? Like the very top. I want to read to you what it says about Jordan Tyson. Jordan Tyson is a top 2026 NFL draft wide receiver prospect who has a significant multi-year injury history that has caused durability concerns despite high-level production. His injury history includes a 2022 torn ACL, a 2024 fractured clavicle, and a lingering 2025 hamstring issue. He missed roughly 33% of his college games due to this injury. That player will not be loved if they take him at 9. He will be viewed as a dice roll, and it's already a dice roll, but he will be a very polarizing selection if they pick him with the 9th overall pick. Absolutely. We can go on from there. Mekhi Lemon only really had one season. He is also another under 6 foot, under 200-pound wide receiver. They got a bunch of those on this team. I'm not saying that they won't get it right at number 9. I'm not saying that you guys will not like whoever they pick. You want to be excited about a top 10 pick. I do believe that fans have worked themselves up into a lather, and we have been talking about this now for 3-4 months. The only home runs that I think they can make on day one, what will be perceived to be a home run, will either be them drafting who people perceive to be the best wide receiver in this year's draft class, or Ruben Bane, because we have been talking about it basically since the semifinal of the college football playoff. Now, I think Arvo Reese is going to be off the board. If he fell, you'd be excited if he fell. I think that David Bailey is also going to be off the board. Maybe they move up to go get him, but I would be stunned if David Bailey was sitting there at the 9th overall pick. I think if the Chiefs are sitting there at 9, the only 2 perceived home runs would be those 2. I love Caleb Downs. Drafting a safety with the 9th overall pick is not a good use of your resource in my mind. So we're going to have the conversation that people are telling me you can't spend the 9th overall pick on right tackle, that you can't now tell me how it's good money to spend the 9th overall pick on a safety, which is a lesser position of value.
I see it the same way you do, and I don't see the same way the texter does. I don't think fans will be happy about Jeremiah Love anymore. I actually think I agree with the texter. If they take a wide receiver, I think fans will be excited. You remember they took Xavier Worthy. Xavier Worthy was an imperfect draft profile. I'm sure if you read his NFL.com draft profile from, I believe that was 2 years ago now, Xavier Worthy's didn't read home run, he's Tyreek Hill part 2, have a celebration.
I think
but
it's
what
all.
did fans do? They did that.
I'm with you, but I guess I'm looking at it as this being different. Maybe you and I are just looking at it through different lenses. To me, I think people understand that when you have the 26th overall pick, it's a real 50-50 coin flip. I think that everybody has done this. I don't think it's just a fan thing. It's a media thing. Man, if you pick in the top 10, you need to be drafting a guy day one that can instantly come in and start, and a guy that has a chance to be a star. And I think there has been added pressure on this 9th overall pick because the belief is they will never get this opportunity again. I think Jordan Tyson is a phenomenal player. They will have other opportunities to take a Jordan Tyson type, a guy who was a really good player in college but was hurt all the time, and you're hoping that he can hold it together. I think that Caleb Downs is a phenomenal player. You will have a chance to get good safety play in the draft because that's a position group that usually falls to it. So that's why I say home run. There will never be a chance in which the Chiefs have a chance to take the best wide receiver on the board, which is what Carnell Tate is. There will not be a chance where the Chiefs have a chance to take a top 3 pass rusher, which I think Bane projects out to be in this year's draft class. That's why I'm saying I think those are the only home runs that fans think they can hit.
And I agree with you on the whole. I just think skill position players always gets a level of excitement from the fan base that creates the opportunity for a home run. I'll use Malachi Lemon as the example. Productive wide receiver, fast, does all this stuff. You got another weapon for Pat at number 9. I think there will be a portion of the fan base that views that like a home run. I don't think fans view tackle as a home run, not because of the player. I think they view it because of the position. Like, for lack of a better term, the sexier the position, the more likely fans are to view it as a home run, which is why I think maybe a Jordan Tyson would have a sect of the fan base screaming, that's a home run, because it's just easier to evaluate wide receiver as a fan.
Can I read to you a quote about Mekhi Lemon? This is on the NFL.com official draft page. Quote, he could come in and be one of the 10 best slot receivers in the league by day one of camp. He has great hands and is fiercely competitive. Is that worth the 9th overall pick? Let's say that he becomes a top 10 slot wide receiver. Is that worth the top 10 pick?
Yes. I would say when healthy, Tank Dell is the best slot receiver in the NFL. Is that a fair, maybe I'm forgetting someone, but Tank Dell comes to mind as the top wide receiver out of the slot. Now, I know he got hurt, but if the Chiefs are taking Tank Dell at number 9, are you happy? Because I'd be elated. That'd be a great pick for the Chiefs if he's getting Tank Dell at number 9 overall.
I'm a little surprised to hear you say that when it comes to it, because now maybe I'm trying to apply how you talk about running back and how you talk about all these other positions because
matter less.
Because I'm just saying there's been plenty of times where I was like, you could get this running back. Oh, that guy's a dime a dozen. You can find him. So I'm surprised you would tell me that you're fine with them taking that guy with the 9th overall pick when the Texans found Tank Dell. He was the 69th overall pick in the 3rd round back in 2023 and has had an injury history. So I'm surprised you feel that way about him. I'm stunned. I don't know what running back has done to you in the past, but it's hard for me to remove what you say about running back at every single turn, and now you are willing to overdraft at almost every other position.
I have a positional value chart, and running backs near the bottom. It'd be like if they took middle linebacker at 9. We're at the Brookside that night. I might go walk in traffic if they take a middle linebacker at 9. I would lose my mind. But Tank Dell, an elite type of wide receiver, when healthy, yeah, I would be excited for that at number 9 if it's Malachi Lemon. Yes, I'd be excited.
Yeah, this 9th overall pick is a defining moment in Brett Veach's career. It is a defining moment.
100%. He could either become on the hot seat immediately from fans or safe for the next 5 years. It's literally that level of change. Because if he gets this wrong and the Chiefs are 9-8 next year, fans are not going to say, hey, well, let's see what you do at 17 overall. They're going to say you screwed up 9. And fans are frustrated that they screwed up Xavier Worthy. Fans are frustrated they screwed up, FAU. That's at 31 and 29. Screw up 9, I think you'll see a lot of fan ire.
Yeah, and I would say that there is still a lot of shine on Brett Veach, deservedly so. With what you have accomplished, there should be a lot of shine. If they don't turn this thing around quickly and he squanders the 9th overall pick, there is still a measure of protection around Brett Veach. In Brett Veach, we trust. And I think this exists for Reed. I think this exists for Spags, all of them. You guys have accomplished so much. You should be given the latitude to be able to solve this problem. Solving it starts next Thursday. They got the 29th overall pick. They got the 9th overall pick. Their quarterback, everybody in the know seems to think their quarterback is coming back day one, is going to play in the first game of the NFL season. There is no excuse for the Chiefs this year to not get back to, I'm not saying they got to go back to the Super Bowl, but they should be in a conversation to win their division. They should be in a conversation of one of the contending teams in the AFC. That is just one really good draft. You got all the ammunition to be able to do that if you were the Kansas City Chiefs. Coming up at the top of the hour, we will reset things and get ready for the hits. The Royals can't score. We are less than 2 weeks away from the NFL draft. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
I mean, come on, guys. What are we doing here?
On your home for Chiefs football, 96.5, The Fan. Here's your traffic report on 96.5, The Fan.
Multi-car crash now up at 635 northbound, just before K5 south. 2 left lanes are blocked. We've also got the crash in North KC, 35 northbound, before Parvin. It is in the clearing stages. Big backups in a few minutes to unwind. Multi-car crash still working, 470 eastbound down at Raytown Road. Right lane is blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Royals coverage on The Fan, sponsored by Salvation Army Kick Hunger Civic Lunch on May 7th. Get ready to kick off a summer of soccer in Kansas City while fighting hunger. Join the Salvation Army for the Kick Hunger Civic Lunch 2026 May 7th. Score big for local families in need. Grab your tickets or table today at kickhungerkc.com. That's kickhungerkc.com.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. No!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026. Taxes, fees, extra.
You're always better with a roof from JR.
Here they come. A baseball-sized hailstorm means every roofer for 500 miles is on his way here to ring your doorbell. Before that happens, go online to jrstormcheck.com and relax. JR & Company is locally owned, veteran-owned, and family-owned. JR & Company offers a lifetime warranty on workmanship. But best of all, JR & Company offers a free Class 4 shingle upgrade. What does that mean? Most insurance companies offer premium discounts on Class 4 shingles. Remember, no roofer can legally offer to pay your deductible, but a free shingle upgrade can reduce premiums for years to come. Why do we do this? Because we can. A lifetime workmanship warranty and free shingle upgrade. It's why we say,
You're always better with a roof from JR.
just visit jrstormcheck.com.
This report is brought to you by CM Mosen Son, HVAC, plumbing, and electrical services. CMMosenSon.com.
Dispatch, this is Mindy at CM Mosen Son.
Well, boy, it's getting hot out there. Now, if your AC is making funny noises, just needs a once-over, or your home isn't as cool as it used to be, visit CMMosensons.com. CM Mosen Sons. License 202919.
What's up, KC? It's Matt Strom from the Kansas City Royals. Don't miss Vern's On Deck show 1 hour before first pitch right here on 96.5 The Fan.
KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Can I share something with you guys that bothers me? I want to share it with you before we move forward. I'm not here to pat our show on the back. I think this is our job. I think it's our responsibility, but I think our show is really good about having people with opposing viewpoints come on the show and share how they feel. It's not my job to tell you whether you're right or wrong. You're allowed to feel how you feel, but I always want this show to be a platform where even if I'm on one side of the argument, you're on the other side, come on here, explain it, and we can then react to it. So, Rob, there is a group called the Missouri Workers Center. Now, they are very upset about the proposed idea for the downtown stadium and where the money is going to come from. I mean, you've heard this argument before, right? And I'm not saying it's a bad argument that these teams shouldn't be using public money to build their private stadium. If you want it so bad, you should pay for it. Now, again, I'm not saying you were wrong to feel that way. I would just argue that's not how America works. So if you were telling me in order to keep the sports team, they got to take some of the tax money, then okay, here, you can have it. They are very upset about it. This is what makes me mad. Rob, I hate whenever we try to get these people on the show and then they give us the runaround. If you feel so strongly about this, to where you were going to have a downtown demonstration. Tomorrow, they are having a rally. It is called Block the Royal Tax Scam. And they're going to have, they're going to try to take over the committee hearing where the voting is going to happen tomorrow. So the voting is going to happen tomorrow at 10 o'clock down at City Hall. They're trying to take over. You've seen all this before. We asked them to come on the show, and they're playing us to the left. Whenever somebody you ask to come on the show and they play the we'll see what we can do, you don't really want to come on the show.
They said they did eventually respond. I'll defend them a little bit.
What did they say? Are they coming on the show tomorrow when we asked them to come on after their demonstration at the stadium at City Hall because they opposed this vote? Do they want to come on the show and tell the city why they feel this way? Or are they just looking for a television photo op?
They asked for a wave of times and dates available. I sent some over.
Are they coming on the show this week?
We will send you an update once we have connected you with someone.
All right, well, hopefully these people come on the show. I can't wait to talk to them.
I'm not counting them as out yet. They're definitely.
Are you counting them as in? They've been giving us the runaround, which is nonsense.
They're sitting in no man's land.
We offered them 5 o'clock. We'll give you prime real estate to share your views on this issue. They don't want to take it.
It's been 3 work days. We did email on Friday morning.
Nonsense is what it is. That's what they're perpetuating. Nonsense.
There are some guests that I reach out to and I know immediately, it's a no. I don't think they're in that category.
Yeah. Do you think that guy talked to all his constituents over the weekend?
I hope. But
Nathan Willett?
I saw another councilman came out and said he wants to get this to a public vote. So he's got.
It doesn't matter if they want it to go to a public vote or not. They already have. It does not matter. I don't know what they're trying to do here. There are 13 city council people. They need a majority. They need at least 7 people. 9 people signed the letter last week. They don't need your approval anymore. This is going to happen whether you want it to or not. They have come up with the $600 million. They were better at the politics than you were at the politics. They beat you. What are you talking about? I don't care what your opinion is on this anymore. You can suggest whatever you want to suggest. That's why whenever we've had this conversation on the text line, if you think the Royals should stay where they are and build a new stadium, that's a fine opinion to have. If you think the stadium should be built somewhere other than where they are proposing the idea, again, you are allowed to have that. But your opinion at this point, it does not matter anymore. They've already made their decision on where the stadium is going to be. So you can just accept that they have made their choice. So it's over. That's my message. It's over. We would love to have the Missouri Workers Center, and I hope that this puts a little pressure on them because I think they're a little scared. If you want my honest, I think they're a little scared. Like a lot of these groups are whenever we ask them to come on the show. They're normally a little scared to come on. The only one that was really about it was KC Tenants. Everybody else, real shook when it comes to come on and explain to us why you feel this way. That's my little soapbox for the day. For the week, actually. I don't have any more soapboxes to stand on. We have a lot to talk about in the 5 o'clock hour. I appreciate you listening. You know what? Can we actually start with this for hit number 1? So our dear friends over at the Ain't No Seats podcast is a very good Kansas fan podcast. I would highly encourage you to listen to it. They tweeted this out yesterday after Flory committed to going to Louisville. So Flory is not going to the NBA. He does not want to play basketball in Kansas anymore. He is already signed to go play basketball at Louisville. The reports are out there that he got $5 million to go play basketball at Louisville.
Good for him, by the way.
I don't think he got that much. That's neither here nor there. So they tweeted out, Flory is going to play an exhibition game next year at Allen Fieldhouse. So last year, KU played at Louisville, and this year it's the return trip. What do you think the fans' reaction will be? Now, KU fans, I know that sometimes we have our little back and forth. It's in fun. It's also I cheer for Missouri. I like to poke you. You guys like to make fun of me. It's what sports are. If you guys don't rein the booze in for Flory Badunga when he walks into your venue in another team's uniform, I will never respect you again. And I think you guys are amazing. You guys have created a true home court atmosphere. It is an incredible atmosphere to be there. You're very knowledgeable basketball fans. You understand the history. You guys preserve the history. It is a walking basketball museum. I don't care what team you cheer for. If you love basketball, you have to go to Allen Fieldhouse at least one time. It is a cathedral for basketball. If there can be a basketball player that left Kansas, not because you guys didn't like him, not because he wasn't playing, not for any other reason than I want more money to play college basketball when you were already paying him over $1 million to play basketball there last year, and that guy comes back to play in your building. The ghost of Max Falkenstein better be booing Flory Badunga when he walks in there. The ghost of Bob Davis better be booing him when he walks in there. You better hear Wilt Chamberlain boo Flory Badunga. I want to go to the game to help you boo for him. He is not going close to home, or his former high school coach is now the coach and he wants to play for them. No, he left you for more money. I know you guys act like you're better than the rest of us when it comes to sports, but deep down, you are one of us. And you know what sports says? When you do something we don't like, we boo you. Flory would be one of my least favorite Jayhawks if I was one of you. He would be. He sold you out. You gave Flory everything. And he did the same thing to you guys last year, and you brought him back and gave him what I believe to be close to $2 million to play basketball in Kansas. He left you to go play at Louisville, a team with less history? You better boo the hell out of that man. I'm serious. You better boo him for JoJo White. You better boo him for James Naismith and Ted Owens. That's what you need to do if you're a KU fan. I can't believe they asked this question. Boo that man.
I mean this in all sincerity. Who's on the other side of this?
I don't know.
What KU fan is like, no.
You guys act like you're above all the other stuff that the rest of us do. You know that. This would not be a question at K-State. This would not be a question at Missouri. In fact, this would be the most attended game at Missouri. I couldn't wait to boo this individual. I would move heaven and earth to boo this individual. You guys, you know how you are. You're a little different.
He's going to get booed, and he should get booed.
No, he should get booed like Robinson Cano.
He should get booed like Neil Smith did when he came back as a Bronco. It should be that. By the way, here's a fun question.
This is worse than Neil Smith. This is worse than Neil.
The division rival thing makes it a little different. Like KU has beef with Louisville. If Flory was at
the Chiefs
Missouri,
didn't want Neil back. They let him. They chose somebody over him, which I'm not saying they were wrong. They chose Derek Thomas over him, and now you got to go get in how you fit in. Kansas obviously wanted Flory back. Flory played you. Flory is everything college basketball fans tell me they hate. Literally everything they tell me they hate. He is not playing for the name on the front of the jersey. He is playing for the name on the back of the jersey. He will go play to the absolute highest bidder, whoever is paying the most. He doesn't seem to have any sense of loyalty. Flory is everything you hate. Boo that man. I'm telling Robinson Cano level booing he should receive. Absolutely.
I'm actually curious, and now I know there's a couple steps along the way here. If Bryson Tiller goes to Missouri, who do you think gets booed louder? Flory and Allen or Bryson at T-Mobile Center? Now,
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Because Bryson Tiller will be at a home game for Missouri at T-Mobile Center. But you and I both know that game is not.
It'll be a Kansas game for sure.
That's a Kansas game. So who gets booed louder, the neutral site Bryson Tiller or Flory in an By the way, the Flory game doesn't count. It's worth noting that. It's an exhibition game. I mean, it counts for the boos. But I'm curious, if Bryson Tiller tomorrow becomes a Tiger, who gets booed louder? Because Bryson went to the rival, Flory went to the bag.
Flory. I think Flory.
Really?
I think Flory.
Is it because of the money or is it because of the location?
I think it's all of it. I think the fact that Flory did this twice, I think you actually really wanted Flory. You know how good Flory is. Yeah, I think it's Flory. That's a good question, though. I do think it's very close. Are you excited to talk about the Royals? I know it's our job to talk about the Royals, but are you excited to talk about the Royals in the hits today?
No. I mean, again, there are worse jobs. There are people who dig ditches and lay asphalt, but talking about the 7-9.
That sounds better than watching the Royals offense.
You get a reprieve tonight.
Like, just think, can you imagine? Because I know this is some of your life. And I'm not saying this to make fun. I know this is your life. You got a really hard, stressful job. You're on your feet all day. You got to deal with just ungrateful people. It's like, your job, it just isn't that fun. Can you imagine after all of that, you got to come home and you sit down on the couch and, man, all you want to do is just have a beer. All you want to do is just have a little bit of peace and quiet. You just want to go down in your man cave and you want to watch the game. And you got to watch the Royals offense. That's more stressful than work. I'm serious. That would drive a man insane and make me want to pull my hair out. After this hard, stressful day that I had, I just want to come here and I just want to have a little bit of peace and quiet. And I got to watch the Royals strike out all series? No, I'm not doing this. I know that's happened to somebody out there. I'm pulling for you. I really am. I'm pulling for you. Rob, did you know that there are only 3 teams in Major League Baseball that have scored fewer runs than the Royals? It is the Phillies, the Giants, and the Chicago White Sox, who just split a series at home against the Kansas City Royals. Those are the only 3 teams in baseball that have scored fewer runs than your Kansas City Royals. I have some numbers I want to share with you guys. We'll make that hit number 1.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrying the hits are brought to you by the Salvation Army. Get your tickets today at kickhungerkc.com for the Salvation Army Civic Lunch taking place on May 7th.
All right, so let me read to you guys some stats. This is Vinnie Pasquantino. This is his career splits month by month. Now, I looked this up because sometimes I think we come into situations with the perception. And you know what? We're going to have a random Royals lineup for you. Sometimes I think we come into these things with our perceptions. And we think, oh, well, this has to be the case. And you look up the numbers and you know what? You're wrong. I mean, this happens on the show all the time. Rob, you and I tell you I have a sports opinion. We start to look it up. We start to look at the data. And then the data ends up not supporting what I think. We just rip the topic up and we never talk about it again. That happens sometimes. If you think that Vinnie Pasquantino starts slow, I'm here to tell you that you are not crazy. I'm here to tell you that you are not wrong. I'm here to tell you that what you think is supported in the numbers. Let me give you the numbers. In the month of March/April, he is hitting .210 in his career with a .299 on base percentage. He is slugging .366. In the month of May, the same person, Vinnie Pasquantino, he is hitting .284, so that is a 74-point difference. His on-base percentage is .333, so that's a 34-point difference. His slugging percentage goes up from .366 to .448 in May, and then that's basically who he is for the rest of the year. I mean, this is some kind of Kirk Cousins on Monday Night Football kind of split. The Vinnie Pasquantino that you get the rest of the year is a really, really good player that hits for power, that hits home runs, that drives in runs, that has extra base hits, that puts the ball in play. I mean, he does a lot of the things that you like about Vinny and what makes him at the heart of the order. I don't know what happens in March. I don't know what happens in April. He just historically gets off to a really, really slow start. Now, this team is not out of it. I'm not telling you to bury the Royals, but I will continue to maintain these games are as important as in March and April that they are in August. They all count for one. And when you got a series against the Chicago White Sox, who have scored less runs than any team in Major League Baseball, and you split with that team in a 4-game series at the crib, you failed this weekend. You failed. This is a disappointing weekend for the Kansas City Royals. You're looking to take 3 or 4 and be at 500 at the end of this trip. Well, you're not. And now you're going on the road. You got 3 against the Tigers. You got 3 on the road against the Yankees, who just smacked you around all last year. Like, at some point, you got to get to going a little bit. And we can talk about the starting pitching. We can talk about the bullpen. Their issue has been their offense. Bobby Witt Jr. doesn't have a home run so far this year. I saw this stat, and it absolutely blew my mind earlier today when I saw this statistic. It almost didn't seem real to me with Bobby Witt Jr. He has been on base 30 times so far this season. Bobby Witt Jr. has been on base 30 times. He's reached base. He has been left stranded 29 times out of the 30. Did you guys hear that? Bobby Witt Jr. has been on base 30 times. He's just sitting there, just looking around, stealing bases, doing everything he can. Hey, I'm on base 30 times so far in the first 2 weeks of the season. Vinny and Salvi and the rest of the guys, they have left him on base 29 times out of the 30. I mean, if you want a stat that just tells you how the Royals got here and why they are having the issues, can you give me a stat that's better than that? It's either that or the strikeouts, because they have struck out an absorbent amount of times so far in the early portion of the season. So I'm not here to bore you with the same conversation that we've been having for the last week. You guys know where I sit. I think acting like this is a 2-week problem and not a 1.5-year problem is a little bit off. But if your stance is it's early, let's not overreact. Let's give it a little bit more time. Great. History says Vinny needs a little bit more time. History tells us that Vinny is not going to heat up for another 3 weeks. What does their record look like in another 3 weeks? And can this team manage and maintain not really getting a lot of offensive contribution from any of your core? Salvi has not given you a whole lot. Vinny has not given you a whole lot. Bobby has not hit a home run so far this season. The core of your team is not really doing a whole lot. And your team is treading water or drowning a little bit when they could be swimming, they could be thriving, they could be flourishing, but you were just not scoring enough runs. And we continue to have a conversation about a team who is bottom 5 in offense in Major League Baseball. It's early, but we have had too many of these shows and too many of these conversations of what's going wrong with the Royals offense.
At what point does this become a Q problem? Because you and I can both pull we can pull numbers all week. We really could. There are a lot of bad ones that show that their 3 and 4 hitters just don't hit right now. I think they're probably going to start hitting because both the baseball cards, both Salvi and Vinny, so they'll eventually start hitting. But Vinnie Pasquantino's slugging percentage is in the 100s right now. Like, that's just atrocious. At what point is it on cue for saying, hey, I have my 3 and 4 hitter written down in pen every day when they're not hitting half of their weights? They're not hitting at all. Like, they're super light hitting. Pasquantino came up yesterday with a chance to, make something happen in the 9th. I knew, you knew, the White Sox knew, hey, game's over, he ain't hitting. At what point do you blame the manager and say, hey, I know it, you know it, the numbers show it. These guys get off the slow starts. Why are they in the 2 most premium positions on the lineup card? At what point does he have to take a little blame here?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying about. I don't know what you're supposed to do as the manager when your MVP candidate doesn't have a home run in the first 2 weeks. Your second best run producer also doesn't have a home run and is hitting less than his weight at this point. And your future Hall of Fame catcher is hitting 170. I don't know what you're supposed to do if you're the manager and how you're supposed to generate offense if that's the case, if those 3 guys aren't hitting. So, I mean, the question with the Royals is simple. What is their record when the offense turns itself around? I do think their offense is going to turn it around at some point. Vinny's going to hit a home run at some point this season. Bobby Witt Jr. is going to hit a home run at some point this season. He'll probably hit a bunch of them so far this season. What is their record when they eventually get going? Where are they at? Where do they start at when that happens? Where do they finish when they go back in another one of these ruts? Because if there's one thing that I think we can say pretty definitively about the Royals, this is not the only time we will have this question about their offense. They've just done it too much over the last 1.5 years. It's been too hot and cold. So, yes, maybe they have a 2-week stretch in May where they are knocking the cover off the ball. That will quickly be followed up by a 3-week stretch where they look like how they look right now. They've done it too much for me to believe otherwise.
I agree. I think that hot streak is going. The question for me is, as someone who still believes they can turn around, can they get to that hot streak while still being in an okay spot? 7-9 is not a death sentence. It's not what I agree with you. It's not what they want to be. It's not a sign that they're the Yankees. It's not a sign that they're the Dodgers. But 7-9, you're in the fight without hitting at all. They're just no hitting. Going up there with a cricket paddle is a better chance than what they're doing with a baseball bat. But they're not hitting at all, and they're 7-9. If they can just start hitting a little bit, which we know at some point is going to come, they're going to hit a hot streak. Can they just keep treading water until that moment? And as a person who's glass half full about the Royals right now, I would tell you, if you look at the state of the AL, it's a lot of 7-9 to 9-7. There's no Dodgers in this league right now that just come out so red hot to run away with it. You have a chance against teams that are on paper definitely better than you, but the Tigers and Yankees are 7-9, 8-7 this week. If you can go 3-3 or 4-2 next Monday when we take the air, you're going to have a light years different perception of the Royals. Just keep treading water until you get hot and maybe win a series or 2 in the meantime.
I would like to talk about the Masters coming up in a little bit. Yes, I have Masters thoughts. I'm just a do-it-all kind of sports guy, I got Masters thoughts. We got the NBA playoffs that get going tomorrow. I got thoughts on all of these things. But something is much more pressing. It is much more important. We have been slacking on our job so far this season, and that's my fault. Don't blame Rob. It's 100% on me. We have a rule on this show. If we talk about the Royals in the 5 o'clock hour, it can only mean one thing. Rob, hit me!
We're where you want to be. Baseball with the Royals.
Carrington, for anyone on the text line who thinks, wow, we are in really, truly dire times, I'm going to take us back to 20 years ago, where on this date in Royals history in 2006, the 62-100 Royals took the field in a loss to the New York Yankees. Here was their lineup that day. They lost 9-3.
I was in high school back in 2006. What grade were you in?
2006, I would have been 15 years old, so I'd have been in high school, yeah.
Yeah, this is, I graduated in 2006.
There we go. This, by the way, Randy Johnson beat the Royals this date as a Yankee.
Of course.
Here's your random Royals
I kind
lineup.
of forgot the Randy Johnson Yankee time.
I think everyone other than Yankees fans has.
Yeah.
By the way, not hard to beat this lineup, because leading off...
What number did he wear? Because he couldn't have wore 51. That was Bernie's number, right?
Was Bernie's? Let's see if Bernie's on this roster. Hold on.
Yeah, what number was Randy wearing with the Yankees? It was a nasty.
Bernie Williams did wear 51. He's on this team. So
what number was Randy Johnson wearing? 71? What was he wearing?
Now,
I'm going to look it up. Go ahead and do the thing, but I'm going to look it up. What number was Randy Johnson wearing with the Yankees?
Leading off, the designated hitter, Tony Graffanino.
We should have known right then and there that the Royals were cooked food.
Batting second, the second baseman, Mark Grizzolanek.
Also should have known right then and there. It was Graffanino and Grizzolanek in the 1-2 hole. That team had no chance.
Batting third, the left fielder, Emil Brown.
It's not a snack. It's a meal.
Batting fourth, the right fielder, Reggie Sanders.
This is such an awful baseball team. My goodness.
Batting
this team
fifth,
is terrible. This team would win the College World Series.
Batting fifth, the shortstop, Angel Baroa. Batting sixth, the catcher, John Buck.
I really love this team, though.
Batting seventh, at first base, Doug Minkiewicz.
There's some names on that team. Goodness gracious.
At third base, Esteban Herman.
I kind of remember him.
And batting ninth, in center field, Shane Costa.
Allard Baird was a thief.
By the way, the Royals actually scored. They ran Randy Johnson out. He only threw 5 innings. That's not bad.
I'm serious. Allard Baird was a thief. He stole from us. This is the team you put together? I'm serious. This is the team you put together?
By the way, Randy Johnson wore 41 for the Yankees.
It's a nasty number for Randy Johnson. All right. Coming up on the other side. All of us have an opinion. I don't know why they just won't give it to us. I'll explain. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on Kansas City's only FM sports station, 96.5 The Fan.
Well, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you have poor sleep? What about low energy? How about brain fog, a reduced sex drive, weight gain, and workouts that just don't deliver like they used to? Well, the problem could be low testosterone. And the truth is, those testosterone levels can start declining as early as your 30s, 2 or 3% every single year. And before you know it, you just don't feel like the same man you did back in the day. Well, you don't have to accept this as just aging. Heartland Men's Health specializes in customized testosterone therapy and targeted body composition plans. You might think you have low T. Well, pick up the phone and call this number, 844-447-6600, or check out the website and take this simple 10-question quiz. Visit heartlandmenshealth.com. Your initial visit is just $100, includes a medical consultation, a PSA test, and lab results in about 30 minutes, and your treatment can start that day. 3 locations, Overland Park, Independence, North Kansas City. There's no need to wait. Go stop by and see my friends over at Heartland Men's Health.
Featured therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See website for details. Hey, it's Dusty Likens. No secret here. I am a golf guy, and I have to ask you if you're ready to ramp up the excitement because golf fans, BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner bet even better with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Well, you ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament only to see them miss the green? Well, with this bet, MGM's Second Chance promotion will get you your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 and older only. Missouri only. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Please play responsibly.
In digital advertising, everyone talks about clicks, but clicks don't pay the bills. Sales do. Outcomes from Bryant is a new way to advertise that prioritizes your bottom line. Our AI-driven technology looks past the noise to find the customers most likely to buy your product. It's smarter, faster, and designed for real-world results. It's smarter advertising made simple. Visit Bryant.ai.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 4/18 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
If the high cost of filling up is weighing you down, lighten your load at Hy-Vee. This Saturday and Sunday, get a 30-cent per gallon fuel discount with every $60 purchase. Stock up on groceries and stack up the fuel savings. Earn 30 cents per gallon with your $60 purchase. 60 cents per gallon with a $120 purchase. The more you spend, the more you'll save. Your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss the 2-day Fuel Saver event this weekend only at Hy-Vee.
With 2 kids and 4 sports, sometimes we don't even have time to eat, and that means sometimes we can't get to the store. That's when Hy-Vee saves the day. We love ordering our groceries online and having them delivered. It saves us so much time, and it's easy. Just download the app or go to Hy-Vee.com. Choose your store, select your items, and Hy-Vee does all the shopping. All I have to do is pick up my order or have it delivered to my home, which is free, by the way, with my Perks Plus membership. Save time, save money. What could be better? Only at Hy-Vee.
Hello, this is Jason Gudenkoff with Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas, the home of $50 over factory invoice. Since 1979, our $50 over factory invoice pricing has been saving Kansas City Ford buyers thousands of dollars when buying a new Ford. Our no-hassle $50 over invoice pricing has helped us become the #1 F-150 dealer in the state of Kansas. And now, for the 9th time, the #1 F-150 dealer in the entire Kansas City area. At Lewisburg Ford, we understand that price is important, but it doesn't stop there. There's other factors to this equation: trade allowance, financing, and customer satisfaction. We don't just say that we're great at taking care of customers, we actually do it. Ford Motor Company has awarded us with the President's Award 23 times. This is the top honor that they give their Ford dealers for customer satisfaction in sales and in service. So if you're in the market for a new Ford, come see us at Lewisburg Ford. You can reach us at 816-444-2300 or on the web at lewisburgford.com.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Replacing your HVAC doesn't have to be an emergency. Plan now, pay less later. For a limited time, take advantage of an HVAC replacement with financing starting as low as $149 a month. More options, better timing, and less stress for your home.
96.5 The Fan's draft coverage is brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete, the Leavenworth PD, and the Salvation Army Civic Breakfast. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Okay, 2 left lanes are blocked up at 635 northbound just before K5 South. Scoot to the right through here. There is a right lane that is moving. And then opposite side of things down near Lee Summit. 470 eastbound just past Raytown Road. Scoot to the left through here. It is the right lane blocked. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
Did you guys see Rich Eisen hosting SportsCenter last night? Now, we don't have to spend a whole lot of time on this, but if you listen to this show, you also love SportsCenter the way that I loved SportsCenter. It was appointment television. It was a visual newspaper for you. How did you find out about the latest trade? How did you see the big dunk for the night? How did you see the highlights of the NFL game that you didn't have access to? It was a place that we all came together to celebrate this hobby that we're all so into. I don't know how ESPN can know how we feel about SportsCenter and not pump more resources into making SportsCenter one of the premium shows on their channel. Now, I don't think that Rich Eisen should do SportsCenter every day. I think it would lose the novelty if that happened. But if they said after major events like last night, where it's Sunday at Augusta and we're going to do a special throwback edition of SportsCenter, I would watch it every single time. I watched it yesterday. I watched the first 20 minutes of it yesterday. To hear that music and to see the traditional open and to have him do the highlights, and then he interviews Scott Van Pelt, who's at the Masters, and they're talking about it. Oh, it was so good. We got the NBA playoffs going on. The NBA playoffs are 3 months of basketball. We can't sprinkle in a couple of these old sports centers. Dan Patrick said he would do SportsCenter again. You wouldn't watch Dan Patrick do another episode of SportsCenter? We still got Trey Wingo with us. Can they get Trey Wingo back to do an episode of SportsCenter? Linda Cohn is still around. Can we get a throwback edition of Dan Patrick and Linda Cohn doing an episode of SportsCenter? We don't know how long we're going to have these legends around and that tied to that nostalgia, so I want to enjoy them for as long as we can. And if they are all still interested in doing SportsCenter, I don't know why ESPN is not leaning into that more. It's not like SportsCenter's canceled. They still have SportsCenter. It still comes on. You just don't watch it. They still show the highlights. They still do the Coors Light cold hard facts. They still have the show. They just have it with people you don't know. All the people that we do know still want to host the show. Bring them back. This seems like such a no-brainer to me on why we can't have this. Again, I understand it won't be every day. No, I will not watch SportsCenter every day like I used to. But if you're telling me after the Masters, Kenny Mayne is doing SportsCenter, yes, I'm watching it. Of course. Why would I not watch it? Why would I not watch it? Dan Patrick literally said, I want to do it. So how do we get Dan Patrick back on SportsCenter then if that's the case? If he still wants to do it, you should let Dan Patrick host SportsCenter. That's all I got for today.
Also,
please make this happen, ESPN. We want this.
With all the stuff Disney owns now, like they're part of the Hulu package. They're now own parts of the NFL Network. Like,
don't give them any ideas to now charge us for this. Don't give them no ideas.
No, I'm saying like they have. It's not like they have to be like, hey, I need you to come across to a different network. If you are, Trey Wingo, I'm sure I think he worked at DraftKings for a while. I'm sure ESPN has a deal with DraftKings. Now if you can come over and do a SportsCenter without having to break any contractual obligations, you already own half the world, Disney. Just bring back what we want.
Please. I I've got a chance to talk to enough of them privately and publicly, but I just, at every turn, I hope that they understand how important they were in our lives. I would not be in this position if it wasn't for my love of SportsCenter growing up as a kid. Like, I wanted to be one of those people. I loved SportsCenter. I loved PTI. I'm from the era of SportsCenter where the same episode would just run all morning and you would just keep watching the same episode. I love SportsCenter. Sometimes I wonder if ESPN loves SportsCenter. They can't love it the way that you and I love it. They can't. They can't.
Who right now does I know Van Pelt at night, but like, who does the morning SportsCenter? Who does the 5 o'clock SportsCenter? There used to be like a point. PTI
for sure.
would roll right into SportsCenter and you were excited. I don't know who does that anymore.
I mean, you got to think back when SportsCenter was its thing. I mean, that 5 o'clock SportsCenter, I mean, that was the update for all of the things. Like, it wasn't how it is now, where if a trade happens at 2 o'clock, there are so many avenues to instantly in real time talk about the trade. That's not how it was 20 years ago. How it was 20 years ago, if there was a player that you found out got hurt and they put it on the bottom ticker and they told you that so-and-so got traded, you had to wait until 5 o'clock to get all of the analysis on SportsCenter.
They'd also have the clip, like the first time Manny Ramirez played as a Dodger. You had the bottom ticker, Manny Ramirez traded. Later that night, live look-in at Manny Ramirez first at-bat as a Dodger. You're like, that's fun. Now it's just Stephen A. screaming at Mad Dog, and it's worse.
It was so good, man. Somebody said ESPN treats SportsCenter the way that MTV treated actual music videos. It's
a great text of the show.
He's right. I can't argue that.
I wish they weren't. Although we vilify sports ESPN a little bit, I would say in 2026, a highlight show probably doesn't hit because we can all watch it on our phones.
No, for sure. I agree. Just like I think MTV had to grow. Like, once we had the ability to watch music videos on demand on the internet, it was never going to be the same. But I think whenever we get the ratings for last night's SportsCenter, we will continue to see that the public is telling you they want this. The public is telling you that after the Eastern Conference Finals, let's have a throwback edition of SportsCenter like we used to back in the day to break this thing down. Because it was so good. It really was. It was a great time. Maybe I'm more nostalgic about SportsCenter than you guys are, but I'm here to tell you, I love that show. I really do. I want ESPN to love it the exact same way that we love it. Rob, let me ask you a master's question. Am I right in thinking that there was a long period of time in which I think golf was trying to figure out what it was going to look like in a post-Tiger world? Don't we finally have our answer? Like, the two titans of this era, of this generation, have emerged. Rory McIlroy and Scottie Scheffler. They are the two best golfers of this generation. And if golf can set up for the next 5 to 7 years a lot more Sundays like we just had, with those two individuals battling down the stretch and seeing which one of these guys is going to win the championship, maybe it will never get to where it was with Tiger Woods. That was just such a phenomenon with Tiger, and Tiger was just such a unique story through all of it. But, I mean, this has a chance to be one of those kind of golden era. I'm not a big golf fan. You can't really get me to watch a whole lot of golfing events, but if you were telling me in the next major, if you're telling me in the U.S. Open coming up in a couple of months that it is Rory and Scottie Scheffler down the stretch and they are fighting to see who's going to win the championship, that will get me to turn on the golf match. It will get me to turn it on. Golf has been waiting, I think, for this moment, and it finally has the two people that can carry the sport forward. They got two legitimate superstars.
I think the sport needed two, though. Like, Tiger emerged, like, he beat Duval. He beat all those guys in the 2000s. But he needed Phil because you needed a foil. Now, whether you thought Tiger was the villain or you thought Phil was the villain, it doesn't matter. Because there was a while they were like, Jordan Spieth was playing golf, but there was no other person. Brooks Koepka and Bryson DeChambeau had a rivalry, but they weren't winning at the high level. Scheffler versus Rory has a chance to be Tiger versus Phil, and it will, on a Sunday, if you're watching television, there'll be a divide among sports fans. I want to see blank win. No, I want to see blank win, and that's what makes sports great. When it's two sides, Hatfields and McCoys, wanting to see their team or their person come out on top.
I give Rory a lot of credit for yesterday because I thought that thing could have fell apart. When he had that double putt, I think it was like on the 4th or 5th hole. I can't remember exactly when it was. When he had that double putt and he was a stroke back of Cameron Young, I thought it had all the makings of, he's going to choke this thing away. And for him to battle back and win that golf tournament and hold off Scotty Scheffler, I give Rory a whole lot of credit. Honestly, I give him a lot of credit for him winning that tournament yesterday. And what an exciting final round at Augusta. Coming up on the other side, I finally watched that Lamar Odom documentary. I want to tell you guys about it. Keep right here, so drive.
Tune in to hear the Hall of Fame voice of the Royals, Denny Matthews.
There's a high fly ball, deep left center. Back goes Ward to the wall. Gone. Bobby Witt Jr.
Every Monday at 3, right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan.
Now's the time to complete that painting project you've been putting off. CertaPro Painters provides a free estimate quickly and at the right price. Whether it's interior or exterior, you'll never have to wonder what's next. They provide reliable updates because they know how important your home is to you. Ask about their spring sales event for 10% off qualifying projects through May 15th. Remember, each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated right here in Kansas City. Schedule your free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Dell PCs with Intel inside are built for the moments you plan and the ones you don't. For the time you forgot your charger at the gate.
Passengers, we are now on our initial ascent.
Or when you're bouncing between projects like a ping pong ball. We build PCs with long-lasting battery life, so you're not scrambling for an outlet. And built-in intelligence, so you can stay focused on whatever you're doing. Dell Technologies, built for you. Dell.com/Dell PCs.
Get ready, Kansas City! Harris is giving you the chance to drive away in a brand new 2025 Ford Bronco Big Bend. Earn entries now through May 2nd just by playing your favorite games. Want even better odds? Every Tuesday in April, score double entries to boost your chances. Then join us May 2nd for the big drawing. Adventure is calling. Will you answer? Only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Spring is here, and as the weather heats up, the sports action heats up at Circa Sports. From baseball to basketball to hockey, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. High betting limits, player-friendly pricing, and exceptional customer service. Whether you're looking for playoff futures or props on your favorite players and more, Circa Sports has you covered. And don't miss out on the special Royals props for every game. Download Circa Sports app or visit circasports.com today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, I'm Lacey, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. And yes, I'm actually a jeweler. I bring dream engagement rings to life every day in our jeweler workshop. When I hand set your diamond into your ring, I think about creating a piece you'll wear for a lifetime. I pay attention to the smallest details and treat every ring with the same care and craftsmanship, no matter the size or price. Come see us in store. Shane Company engagement rings are crafted with care from our hands to yours. Because a friend wants your ring to be nothing short of perfect. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
At Telly Tire, when it comes to car problems, we've heard it all. From tires to timing belts to faulty air conditioning. Ooh. At Telly Tire and Auto Centers, we've been fixing problems like these and customers' bad days for over 80 years. So relax and take it to Telly. Schedule your service at tellytire.com.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Introducing Bluebell Pro, a dessert with up to 12 grams of protein and 110 calories or less per serving. Low fat, no added sugars, and gluten-free. Dig into a pint. It's more than just protein. It's Bluebell Pro. Good for you. Never tasted so good.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at all Henhouse markets and select Sun Fresh locations.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
DQ presents the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. For a limited time, when you buy one Blizzard treat, you get a second for just 99 cents. That's 2 Blizzards, 2 spoons, 2 flavors, and 2 flips. So don't miss out on the Blizzard Double Flip Deal, available only for a limited time and happening now at DQ. Because the only thing better than a Blizzard treat is a second Blizzard treat for just 99 cents. It's a deal to flip for. The Blizzard Double Flip Deal. Get it in the app. Participation may vary.
Royals coverage brought to you by Metal by the Foot, your metal project superstore.
Where can you find an extensive line of Blue Demon welding supplies, filler, rods, and wire? Metal by the Foot, located in Casey and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law, 816-888-7500. Hey, Mike's got this. And we've got the multi-car crash that is in the clearing stages at least, but for now, 2 left lanes are blocked. 635 northbound just before K5 south. We've got, out at K10 westbound in Edgerton Road. Right lane is blocked. And then down 470 eastbound past Raytown Road. Right lane still blocked by that little fender bender. I'm Val with traffic on 96.5 The Fan.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
I was watching the Lamar Odom doc on Netflix as I was getting ready for work today. I have a couple of thoughts that I'd like to share with you guys as we are wrapping up the show today. Rob, before I get sidetracked, do you watch Euphoria?
I do watch Euphoria. I have not seen last night's episode. I'm planning on watching it tonight.
All right. I just was curious.
It's not appointment television for me, but I really enjoy that show.
Yeah, no, I know The Pit just ended and it just basically rolls right into Euphoria starting up. They got a factory over there at HBO. They really do. They got a factory going on.
It's the last season too, so they're gonna do big ratings numbers
for sure. My biggest thought when I was watching the Lamar Odom documentary is, I think one of the more tragic things that we see in life is when someone doesn't reach their full potential. And I think in watching the documentary, I thought it did a really good job of letting you know, like, man, Lamar Odom could hoop. Like, was a very, very good player. He took Rhode Island to the Sweet 16 when he was in college. Like, it's no small feat, especially the era in which he did it in. He was a key piece on a championship team with the Los Angeles Lakers. Like, there's no denying the basketball ability for Lamar Odom. And then basically the second half of his career, he just got caught up in a web of drugs, basically. So I thought the doc did a really good job showcasing that. I didn't know a whole lot about the relationship with him and his ex-wife, Chloe, so that was very eye-opening. Like, I just didn't know a lot of these things. I wasn't really keeping up with that portion of Lamar Odom's life. And I guess, Rob, for me, it also kind of showcased how I think in a lot of those scenarios, people have a much better support system than they acknowledge. Like, I think the theme of it, at least to me in the second half of, these are a lot of people that really love this person and want the best for this person, but ultimately that person has to want the best for themselves. And I don't know if that was always the case with Lamar Odom in watching the documentary.
I will say I have not seen the doc.
It's good. It's definitely worth watching. I mean, you know the story. Nothing's going to really catch you off guard here. But it's just, it's the amount of people that they got to do it that could all speak to the highs of him getting to this point and ultimately it crashing down with that, the incident at the brothel in Las Vegas.
my wife has watched it. She said, "Do you want to watch together?" I said, "No, thanks, I'm good. I might go back and watch it." But she said it was not a documentary where you learned anything.
It was not.
Now she said things like, "I didn't know Lamar Odom played against Kansas when he was in college." Like, okay, yeah, that's something she learned at the time. They beat Kansas, but like. The actual personal stuff has been so well documented that she was like, "Oh, they're just talking about a thing we all know." Which,
no, for sure.
Not really how I like docs where I learn something from more or less.
No, you're not going to learn a whole lot. They got everybody to do it. I mean, Chloe sat down and did it. His ex-fiance, so they have 3 kids together. Lamar and this woman, they have 3 kids together. She sat down and did it. His children sat down and agreed to do the documentary. Basically, the woman that birthed him, that raised him, I guess not birthed him, raised him, the woman that raised him, ended up doing it. Was everybody and the person that ran the brothel. So just like you got everybody to tell this story, which was, I found it to be pretty entertaining. I like those untold docs on Netflix. I think for the most part, they're normally really well done. I'd encourage you to watch it. Today, you got a little bit of free time with no Royals baseball and no NBA on today. Certainly check out the Lamar Odom doc. Are you going to watch the Trailblazers one? That comes out tomorrow.
That I'm excited for, yes.
Yeah, it's coming out tomorrow.
Another one where I think I'll learn nothing, but like living through that era, yes, I want to see that.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that one tomorrow. I'm excited. All right, we had a great day. Hopefully you guys did. We had Trevor Sikma on the show earlier today, a draft expert. We're going to have Matt Miller on the show this week. Todd McShay is going to be on the show. So really excited to break down the draft with you guys as we get closer to the draft. All right, take care of yourself. We'll be back tomorrow. That's the drive.